Yeah. Hey, we scatter Yahoo team in a country that's racist. And my people not indigenous, we came on them slave ships. You hate your own people, now you cooning, buffooning. Sample shuffle, bug dancing, yeah, I see how you moving. If you say you FBA, I am FBAK. All these niggas is okay, just my nigga FBAK. And the richer get richer, and the poorer get poorer. And the children of the devil bring the new world order. White supremacy, sour cream and jar of the mayo. Whitewashed all the scriptures and they said it's not racial. And the hell with these heathens, I ain't trusting no heathen. And the most I judge our enemies, especially Edom. Black radical, no rest but I'm sabbatical. Pro-black, oh snap, my power so laughable. Willie Lynch, charmer, yeah, that'll bring that matter flow to redacted raps, cause my rap tactic is practical. Rebel to the system, yeah, oppression is symptom. White folks start the truth when it coming, just lynch them. Liberation and freedom, is it coming from Edom? And the most high Yahuwah, all the slaves he will free them. Black radical, black radical. Black radical, black radical. Black radical, black radical. Black radical, I'm black radical.
on the beat like that. The heathens is mad and it be like that. Whites always crying cause they weak like that. They feel the black man when I speak like that. Yeah. Shaggy unseasoned like ooh. Yeah. Expired sour cream like ooh. Yeah. Telling all my people that we better stop mixing. Children of Edom think they better off lynching. Caveman colonizer raped all women. How many black children are reported as missing? Pale-skinned demons always want to play the victim. Want to claim oppression benefit from the system. Deeds of their seed is laced with their venom. Recessive genes in them, I'm not talking about denim. On the beat like that. The heathens is mad and it be like that. Whites always crying cause they weak like that. They feel the black man when I speak like that. Yeah. Shaggy unseasoned like ooh. Yeah. Expired sour cream like ooh. Yeah. Black, stumping out white. They high off the meth or they snorting out white. Damn, hazy, known to get lice. Evils entice, sold at a price. Yeah. Judgment on the heathen like boom. Children of the devil like who? No. Yeah. The extra on the beat like that. The heathens is mad and it be like that. Whites always crying cause they weak like that. They feel the black man when I speak like that. Yeah. Shaggy unseasoned like ooh. Yeah. Expired sour cream like ooh. Yeah.
Step. Yes, are on the beat like. Yeah. Let the beat ride like. Yeah. Yes, are on the beat like step. Yeah. Let the beat ride like.
Shalom. All praises to the highest. All praises to the highest. Hey, shalom, y'all. Welcome back. All praises to the highest, the most high, Yahuwah, the only, the highest and the only. All praises. He's the best. And it's because he's the only. All praises to the Most High, the only living Elohim. There are many Elohim. There are many gods. Some that, you know what I'm saying, have the heads of elephants and are obviously just Nephilim and hybrids of the days of Jared, the offshoot, the offspring of the days of Jared, where the Nephilim were roaming this earth, and the fallen angels came upon the daughters of Cain and created these Nephilim. But there were also these hybrid beings that were also being created because of the miscegenation and the mixing of DNA. Those are the gods that people worship, the men of renown. Even now, these superheroes that they keep pushing on our people. Yeah, that's also connected to, Aquaman and these Nordic gods. Don't be surprised if they end up doing a movie about Odin. That's the next one, because that's who a lot of these these sour cream supremacists really worship. But we're not gonna get into that today. Shalom, fam. Okay, y'all. Shalom to everybody, man. Thank y'all for joining the live. Am I good on audio, family? Listen, this is going to be a deep one. Can I get a 1 if we are good on audio? I really don't want to waste too much time talking, fam. Let's get into it. Am I good on audio, family? Please let me know I'm good on audio, my family. I'm praying by the Most High's name that we'll have a good show today with good audio. Loud and clear. Ones. All praises to the highest. Okay, fam. All right. So before we get into this, I want to say that I want everyone who may not understand this message in regards to where I'm coming from. Salaki. What I've come to realize is that this whole Black Jesus thing, Black Messiah thing, this Black Messiah concept is really just a huge psyop. It is. When the Most High said that no man shall redeem us, that is exactly what he meant. And it has just been another form that our enemies have used to keep us attached to this Christianity, to this lie, a false hope. See, it wasn't just the religion of Christianity that was meant to deceive us. It was also how it would affect us when we would come out of Christianity, the true chosen people. So before we jump into this, I have something that I wrote down that I want to share. I wrote some notes down. Now, I'm going to be honest, fam. This is going to be a very, 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 very in-depth video. I can't even say teaching. I don't know what to call it. I'm going to just say session, because we're going to get into a lot today. So I need your time. I don't think I'm going to be able to get into everything I want to get into in this episode. So I'm probably going to have to break it into a couple pieces. But let's go ahead and let's look at this. All right, y'all. So Black Jesus, it was a psyop all along. Black Jesus, it was a psyop all along. Now, if you follow this channel, you should be very, very familiar with psyops. I mention them quite often. A psyop is a psychological operation. It is something that is done to steer people towards a certain narrative, a certain belief system, a certain idea, a certain system, a certain concept. Now, very quickly, I want to read what I wrote down, because this is going to have a lot to do with what I'm going to be talking about and discussing tonight in this presentation. Now, when it comes to perception of oneself, a lot of it comes down to image. This is exactly why a lot of what you see isn't real. A lot of what one thinks isn't unique to that person alone. Usually our perception of how we see ourselves is based heavily on how we think others see us. A lot of what led me to understanding how strong the deception is when it comes to this JC character and our people is identity. And the core aspect of identity for many is image. And this evening, I will be discussing a controversial topic that is greatly centered around two interwoven concepts: image and perspective. Those are two things that are very key to understanding what I'm going to be bringing out and what I'm going to be showing you this evening. All right. So please hit the like button. All right. I would really appreciate it. This is a very, very deep topic. And I just don't think that I think it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. So it's going to be for those who can see it, to those who can take time to hear a whole matter as the scripture teaches. But this message is definitely not going to be a comfortable message for people who attach to any ideal of a Black Messiah complex, in the sense of a man that's going to come and redeem a whole nation of people. It's just not going to happen. It's only going to come by the Most High and the Most High alone. All right? That's just what it is. So let's get into it. Continuing on. As Israelites begin to awaken and discover our identity as the true people of the scriptures, it should go without saying that there are still many snares that have been placed in our way to still keep us in sin in this awakening. And there is a certain group of people who do not want to see us truly come back to Yahuwah in truth. Now, there's so many layers to me just saying this, but I'm going to just try to keep it plain and simple throughout this. Historically, our enemies, they have done everything in their power to keep us in ignorance of our identity, but they had a backup plan when that could no longer be covered up. Let me say it again. They had a backup plan when it could no longer be covered up. Yes, they gave you Christianity and they gave you the white Jesus. But then they still kept you in the lie, though. They still kept you in the lie. All they did is allow you to make them in your image. That's it. Let's continue. Let's continue. Now, it should go without saying, of course, I am referring to this idol in blackface. As a person who was once Messianic and raised Christian, I too, Yexer Malchiah, I too believed upon this Messiah, okay? Both the white version when I was a Christian, because at one point I did believe in a white Jesus. It sounds so funny saying that. I believed in the white version back when I thought he was white. And I also believed in who I called Yahusha when I first came into this awakening about us being the chosen people of the Most High Yahuwah. You feel me? So I am not denouncing that I have made songs, I have made videos, I have made merch. I've done all these things, you know what I'm saying? Believing and genuinely acknowledging and confessing that I truly believed in this name, Yahusha HaMashiach. So to anybody who might be confused, because I just saw somebody in the comment section say, oh, I've watched you for a while and I didn't know you were Yahuwah only. I am recently, and I've been making a lot more videos trying to show people why I am. But yes, I was Messianic at one point. All right. I am no longer. Continuing on. To be clear, yes, I know the scriptures are about us. And I know that the Israelites are so-called Negroes. And I know we come from the chosen bloodline of Shem. And the Most High Yahuwah is in covenant with us, specifically us, and only us. So in what I will be showing you today, please do not think that I'm attempting to disprove us Negroes being the Israelites. That is not the purpose of this message. In this study, I will be taking time to show you how this character, regardless of what you call him, whether you call him JC, whether you call him Yahushua, whether you call him Yahusha, whether you call him Yahushua, whatever you call him, or how you picture him, it was a psyop all along, specifically against the chosen people of the Most High. And we took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. Now, let me ask y'all something real quick. Do the Israelites have a history of painting images of the angels or images of the Most High? Or any type of heavenly imagery? Is that anywhere permitted by the Most High for Israelites to paint images of angels in heaven, images of the Most High on his throne, and all this other stuff? Aside from, the Ark of the Covenant, that's different, but I'm talking about painting images. No, thank you. Okay. So when I see our people showing these freaking Russian icon images, all right, and saying, "Oh, well, this is a move of the Most High. Oh, this is, like people are really like actually praising the Most High because Putin is showing you images of these were painted by Europeans. Nice, my nigga. These images were not painted by Israelites. And yes, it is against the law to make any image of anything in heaven. But yet here you see these black images of a black JC with a freaking halo around his freaking head. And that ain't like, what I'm saying, a wreaking pagan to you. Our people are gladly showing these images on social media, these images of the white Jesus with his pagan, what I'm saying, symbol all around his head. It's no different than the freaking white Jesus. And we're still, parading it around like it's something to be proud of. Nigga, F all this pagan-ish, nigga. F all this pagan stuff. F everything the heathens do. F all of it. And I'm sorry if I get a little verbose and a little, out there. I'm gonna try to keep it without using foul language. But nigga, F all of this, nigga. F everything the heathens have given us, homie. I don't care if you make it black, nigga. I don't care. It is poison. It is tainted. It is tainted. Everything that they touch is tainted. Family. Let me try to pull this up here so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. This. I see our people parading this stuff around, okay? All over social media. This is against the law. Are you telling me that our people painted this? Or was it the heathen? The same people that got you believing in all these fairy tale stories of the New Testament. This is an abomination to the Most High. And what are our people doing? Making images. Selling t-shirts and merchandise with the Most High's face on it. Y'all niggas done lost y'all minds. Y'all niggas done lost y'all minds, man. This is what this New Testament has led you to. If you knew the law, you would be rebuking this wickedness. But just like the heathens got to paint images, 1 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48, so do we. And we may not literally be painting images, but I mean, you might as well call it that with AI now, huh? And I understand when it comes to visuals and stuff, I understand when I make presentations, sometimes I use visuals, but you don't see me walking around selling merch when I did believe in, who you call Yahusha, showing his face and, what I'm saying, going around showing images and carrying around images and showing images. You don't see the imagery on my profile. You don't see me posting that stuff. I don't do that. I mean, unless I'm posting images of it being on fire, because we should be burning all idols. The Most High commanded us to burn all idols. He didn't make a distinction if it was a melanated idol. I mean, I'm sure there were melanated idols that the Most High would have had us burn down just as much, because if you look all around the world, you see all these idols that are black, even Black Buddha. I'd burn that too. You feel me? Because this right here, yeah, this is an idol. Why is it an idol? Why do you think it got that crown of thorns around its head all the time? That's a symbol. Just like Dionysus. The Most High would never, ever have a symbol of pain and suffering, you know what I'm saying, put on his people, you know what I'm saying, to be a representation of our salvation from our sins. That doesn't make any sense. When did the Most High ever use this type of symbolism of torture and suffering and, you know what I'm saying, submission to the oppressor as a form of salvation for our sins? And I said this before, the New Testament teaches submission to the powers that be, and those who have exalted themselves as high as the stars of the Most High, the children of Lucifer, have given us this idol to replace the Most High himself. And we've received it and we've accepted it without asking any questions about this New Testament, without even going side by side and saying, wait, let me go back to Torah. Let me study this a little bit more. Let's keep going. Our enemies know that the prophecies say, they know what the prophecies say, and they damn sure know who the prophecies are about. They knew the Israelites would eventually awaken to our identity and they would be judged. So what did they do? They gave us an idol and we just blackwashed them. I want you to factor in that our ancestors rather die than convert to Christianity. During the Spanish Inquisition, many Israelites were burned alive for refusal to convert to Christianity by Catholic priests in what they called the auto de fe, which is called an act of faith. There were many Yahudim or Israelites that were in Spain that were burned alive because they refused to convert to Christianity. Israelites can lie to themselves all they want to say believing in this Messiah as a black man somehow validates the New Testament. It doesn't validate it at all. It just proves how much of a hold it has on our minds. We don't want to serve Yahuwah only, and we wonder why we are in these jacked up situations. Tonight, we will be discussing some very uncomfortable topics about this psyop of Black Jesus. I do not think I'll be able to cover everything as I said, but we'll try to get through as much as we can tonight. Now, first and foremost, I want to discuss the power of images and imagery, especially when it comes to perception in general. Then we need to talk about how it affects the Black mind, because that has everything to do with what we're going to be discussing, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys this video. Now, I'm sure you guys know the actor Blair Underwood. Blair Underwood. He did a film back in the day about a Black Jesus. He did a film back in the day about a Black Jesus, and it was, you know, what they would consider controversial. So he went on the Phil Donahue show and they started to have this conversation about this Black Jesus. So we're going to watch a little bit of that clip. And then I'm going to show you guys some other things as we move forward. But I kind of want to show you how this concept has kind of been put out there and thrown out there and peppered around there and thrown around from piece to piece to piece to piece to piece. But here's the thing. When it comes to the truth, yes, they do put it in plain sight. Some people say, oh, it's the truth in plain sight. It's the truth in plain sight. But here's the thing, though. When have they ever put out the information that the New Testament has nothing to do with us? Every time you see a Black person in a Black movie, what are they? A Christian. Especially in what these Tyler Perry movies, these BET movies, most of them are freaking Christians. You never seen no black man, no black woman portrayed in no Hollywood movie that are Torah, Tanakh only Israelites that completely reject the New Testament and all the lies contained therein. Show me one movie that's like that. Show me one movie that has a Tanakh, Torah keeping Israelite in it that totally rejects the New Testament. There's no such thing. There's no such thing, bro. That's for a reason. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. All right. Now, let's go ahead and watch this video real quick. We're not going to watch the whole thing, fam. It's like an hour long, bro. We don't have that kind of time, unfortunately, but we will try to get through as much of it as we can. Okay. All right. And hopefully the sound is good. And actually, you know what, fam, real quick, let me switch to my earphones because I don't want it to be echoing.
Catholicism has his own church, Washington, D.C. Understand your position here, Blair. You do seem to be finessing a bit. The color is a matter of the heart. And you're right. There are white people who have been so very, very exemplary.
Okay. I want you to notice the idols right there. Okay. You've got your black Jesus and you got your white Jesus. It is no coincidence that they're both being set up like right there. You feel me? Saying there's no coincidence. There's no coincidence that they're just being set up like right there for the whole public, the whole world to perceive that. I mean, the Phil Donahue show was pretty big back in the day. You know, you didn't have social media. You didn't have YouTube. You didn't have all of that. So millions and millions of people were watching this show. But I just want you to see how it's strategically placed right there while they're having this conversation. So it's like if you're black, that Jesus is being implanted in your mind. If you're white, well, there's your white Jesus, right? Let's keep watching.
And their continued effort to ensure that the civil rights of all people are protected, that people of color, minorities, have started to refer to them as brother or sister. Great. But they're still white. I think you are suggesting that there's some pretty good historical anthropological evidence suggesting that Jesus just probably was black. Am I correctly stating your...
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
In that,
was he a Jewish black guy?
Oh, there's no question. We're talking about a Jewish man from Jerusalem who more than likely, there were no camcorders or Polaroid cameras then, but more than likely had to have been a man of color. We're talking about probabilities.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, Phil. I just want to say that when God said he was going to make man in his image, he did not mean white, green, or any color. It was supposed to be spiritually like him.
Very good.
And that's what is important.
Yes, well...
Thank
Wait
you,
a minute.
Phil.
Hold
Thank
it.
you, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's. I tell you, caller, I very much appreciate your thoughtful comment. Except you are kissing a baby here, and you're waving a flag. These politically active people who want to, as you'll see in a moment, there are people who are taking down the white Jesus because that is he has been presented for 2,000 years before peoples of all color as a Caucasian, European.
I got through.
Europe. Oh, you got two lines coming in on one. That's a pretty good sign, Blair. You've kind of rung the bell here with the phone call. So please don't miss the point. It's not enough to say, hey, we're all God's children. If you continue to present Jesus this way before little African-American children or people of color all over the world, they grow up somehow believing that way down inside, white is better.
Plus the fact that we're talking about the historical figure. We are created in God's image, but this man, Jesus, the actual human being we're speaking of.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am.
You wanted to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say I'm a 32-year-old white female who was raised Catholic, and I just have to say that no matter if Jesus is black, white, green, red, I believe in the supreme being, and I think that's what we all have to look at.
May I ask the Catholic this question?
Yes.
How would it be okay with? I assume you're a churchgoer?
Well, no, not as.
Let me stop right there. Okay, so look, You see these two idols right here, right? Now, have you noticed that JC, whether you want to make him black or white, have you noticed the black JC or the white JC is always wearing this Roman sash? Okay, this is a Roman sash that's being worn right here. Okay, they're trying to convince you that this is supposed to be a Hebrew, but this is a freaking idol wearing a Roman sash. As a matter of fact, here, let me pull this up. That is what is called a Roman sash, which is what they oftentimes wore. The Romans. Let me see here. Let me pull it up for you guys real quick. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, right here. Yep. Look, let me show y'all this. Okay, a Roman sash. So, I mean, this New Testament character is seen wearing Roman garments. Not wearing ZZs like described, or, you know, how they're oftentimes depicted, right? As I said, you can see these images were drawn by freaking Europeans. These were not Israelites going around making images of the Most High in the sky and, you know what I'm saying, angels flying around. As a matter of fact, those angels do not even fit the scriptures about how the angels are actually described. So these were clearly drawn by Europeans. But yet our people are going around flexing, not realizing that the Europeans were known for making images. It says it right there in 1 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. So Putin showing us a black JC doesn't mean jack. You know why? Because it keeps our people's mind in the lie, thinking that we can trust him. And by the way, we talking about Putin. We're going to get to Putin later because we got to talk about the bloodline that he comes from. Take a good look at Putin. Doesn't he look a little strange? Doesn't he look like some Nephilim? You know what I'm saying? Like he looked like, what's his name from Lord of the Rings, Gandalf, my precious, my precious, my precious. You know what I'm saying? The one that was down in the cave. Bro, he looks just like that thing. That's some Nephilim right there. You feel me? You know, Ezekiel 38 and verse 30, Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39, it talks about Gog of Magog. Magog is connected to Rosh, the prince of Rosh, Meshach and Tubal, Ezekiel 38. And if you read Rosh, you look up Rosh, it connects to Russia. So I see a lot of people, you know, with this concept of like, oh, Putin, he's showing the black JC. Well, I mean, if you read Ezekiel 38 and 39, you'll understand that he's our enemy. But our people don't know the scriptures like that. And honestly, I feel like the Septuagint helps kind of point you in that direction. But nonetheless, so you see right here, the Roman sash, right? The Roman sash right here that JC is always wearing, okay? Whether you make them white or black. So that right there should be something that's off to you. As a matter of fact, since we're talking about the Roman sash, help me also understand, why is it that when it talks about put on the whole armor of so-called God, why is it describing Roman armor? This is a Roman book. Fam, look, in Ephesians 6, it describes the whole armor of God. And literally right here, it is describing Roman armor, my nigga. Like, are you mean to tell me that this is supposed to be a book from the Most High, and you're trying to say that our Father is using Roman armor as a metaphor for how we need to walk in his spirit and his power? Like, are you kidding me? Family, come on. Come on now. Be for real. Be for real. Be for real. Be for real. All right. We're going to keep it going. I know that was a little bit of a side note, but let's go back to this Blair thing. We're going to watch a little bit more of this. And then we're going to move on because there's still so much more we have to get to, family. And I really, really don't want to dwell too long on this. All right. So let's keep going.
As much as I was.
Well, but you've been all right. Well, that's not this. Would you approve of your pastor changing the color of Jesus statues to black in your church?
If that was what my church did, I don't look at a picture of Jesus and say, "Oh, that's Jesus." I have a feeling within me that there's a supreme being.
But what
and it
color
doesn't
has
matter
what color has Jesus been throughout your childhood?
White. And
What
I
color-
think that's ridiculous because,
What color was his mother?
you know, who knows? And I don't think those people.
Okay, we gonna all right, look. So look, if you want to watch the whole thing, you'll have to do it on your own time, but we got to keep going because there's still so much more we got to look at. So, yeah, let's get back to it. There's so much more I could show you guys, but there's just we really have a lot more to get into. Now, so I showed you that video. Let's continue. All right. So I left off right here. Okay. So the thing is, fam, when we're looking at perception and image, right, it's so important to also understand that how it affects how we see ourselves. I hear a lot of people say that this Black Jesus image has given Black people esteem or self-esteem, you know what I'm saying, to a certain extent, right? And I in a way, I can kind of understand that. I definitely can. You know, I mean, when there have been images and ways that we have been portrayed that have not been in the most favorable way, which we're going to look at in a minute, I can understand why we would want to attach to something so pure and so magnificent and so mighty. But I feel like the way in which we have been characterized and how we have become the byword, I feel like that is how they've been able to lend that idea of still getting us to idol worship because of how we've been beat down so bad in the media. We want to just hold to something that we can identify with, that's relatable. You know what I'm saying? But that's about our redemption. That's about our coming from these circumstances and rising up out of these circumstances. You know what I'm saying? So we connect with it. But the bottom line is, even though they put a Black backstory behind it, the origins of it, the roots of it came from our enemies. So it doesn't even really have any power in our lives and doesn't really help us get closer to the Most High and doesn't lead us to any answers, because it is by our enemies that we understood the concept of whatever was called a New Testament. The Most High never told us about no New Testament. Not once. He said he would make a renewed covenant, but it didn't mean it was going to be a whole separate book of writings. I mean, our ancestors never mentioned nothing about no Paul, no Luke, no John, no Mark, no Timothy, no Bartholomew. I mean, what are all these white man names, these Greek names? Like, what is going on here? Canaanites? He going to pick some dude who's going, you know what I'm saying, betray him? Like, what type of stuff is going on over here? None of our ancestors can verify none of these individuals that were supposed to be the 12 disciples. Not one by name. No Bartholomew or Timothy or Timotheus. Like, I mean, come on, man. And it's like, even when you read Maccabees, you know what's even crazier? I was reading Maccabees the other day when I was preparing for a lesson I'm about to bring out about, you know, the whole goal was to lead us into idolatry. But did y'all know that some of these 12 disciples, some of them, well, like I know Timothy is mentioned in Maccabees, but that is one of the people who tries to overthrow the temple. And it's written as Timotheus. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's the same name of this character that was supposed to be working with the Messiah and on his side. But when we read in Maccabees, that guy's a bad guy. So it seems like they even took little bits and pieces of information from Maccabees and threw it in the New Testament to try to give it some validity and turn some of the bad guys into good guys. Total revisionism, bro. Total revisionism. Crazy work, crazy work, crazy work. All right. So let's keep going. I want to show you guys some other stuff here. Now, here's another thing I want to show you. When we talk about image, the next clip I'm going to show you is a video from a child's cartoon. And this was an episode from when I was a child. I remember seeing this episode. And it shows leprosy, but you'll notice that the leprosy is black skin. So this is the racism and the evil of the bloodline of Cain that has been allowed to be said about black people, that has been left unchecked for so long. And again, this ties to image. This ties so much to image, which has created self-hate because black people have been villainized. All right. Now we're going to look at that real quick. Let me share my screen. Give me a second here. Okay. All praises. All right. Let's look at this real quick, fam. This full screen. Okay. There we go. All right, fam. Check this out.
Jesus is compassionate with all. He heals every type of illness and infirmity. Epileptics, the paralyzed, the possessed, the lepers. Jesus heals.
Okay, the lepers. The lepers. And notice you see a black man. This is the bloodline of Cain, and this is the programming, okay? We talked about Black Jesus, but we also talk about imagery and perception. Okay, imagine the young minds, the young black minds, such as myself, that watch these little Sunday morning cartoons. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, my mom used to, you know, have me watch cartoons before we went to church in the morning. And I'm watching episodes like this, and I'm seeing that leprosy is depicted as somebody with black skin. Imagine how that's going to make me look at myself. Imagine how these seeds are being planted as us being something less than human, even by the bloodline of Cain. And I'm saying bloodline of Cain, and those who know the Psalm 83, specifically the E to the D to the O to the M. All right. But let's keep watching. This is the programming. And this has a lot to do with when I talk about image. All right. Let's keep watching.
Heals them all. People begin to talk about Jesus, and many are convinced that he is the long-awaited Messiah of the Israelites. The king, Herod Antipas, begins to fear Jesus, as he did John the Baptist. John, in fact, had said, "Someone is following me, someone who is more powerful than I am. He will baptize you in the Holy Spirit and fire. His winnowing fan is in his hand. He will clear his threshing floor and gather his wheat into the barn. But the chaff he will burn in a fire that will never go out."
Okay. So y'all see that. He heals him of leprosy and he no more has melanin. Now, this is sour cream supremacy. And why do I call it sour cream supremacy? Because this is not based upon fact. Why is it not based upon fact? Because the bloodline of Cain, all they do is lie. All right. Now let's destroy this with the word of the Most High and let's flip this on his back. And this is why I say that, you know, we have to, as the chosen, we have to come out and destroy the lies of the children of Lucifer, because all they do is lie and make up stuff. All right. Just like they made up the whole curse of Ham. There's no such thing as a curse of Ham. It was Canaan who was cursed. And from what I can see and what I understand about the bloodline of Canaan, it was a bunch of pale skins. I know the Hivites were Indo-Europeans. I know the Hittites were Indo-Europeans. We know the freaking Horites were freaking cave dwellers. We know this. We know that the whites are descendants of the fallen angels. We know that they're descendants of the Nephilim. We know they're the dang, you know what I'm saying, descendants of the Germanic tribes who connected the 10 kings of Atlantis. We know who they are, bro. We know. I mean, at least I know. That's what I've been helping the people see on this channel. All praises to the Most High. The bloodline of Cain. Now, let me go ahead and pull up this chart. I have a chart here that shows you what leprosy is. And actually, leprosy is depigmentation. It is loss of melanin. It is losing your melanin. If a person were to have what is called vitiligo, that would be what would be considered a form of leprosy. Now, of course, there are different varying degrees of what would be defined as leprosy according to scripture. But it typically was depigmentation or loss of melanin. All right. And like I said, there were different degrees of it, but that's typically how it went. Now, let me see. I'm going to pull up this chart here. so I can show y'all this. A lot of times, bro, they're able to just say things and just make stuff up and nobody fact checks it. Nobody's like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. Let's look at this. Let's approach this. They could just make up things and just say things and then nobody pushes back. And then we just at a disservice here. Like it's like we can't let them just like make these claims. Okay. Now, let me show you an example of what leprosy would be according to scripture. And then we're going to go into scripture and look at these leprosy laws. So right here would be a perfect example of leprosy. If you look at this black man, you can see the loss of melanin that is affecting him. I've done films about leprosy or talked about leprosy. I talked about albinism. You can see that in The Curse of Canaan, another documentary that I did here on this channel. But this is an example of what I would consider leprosy. And that's why I say that the Bible or the scriptures, the Tanakh, could not be about Caucasians. Because how do you factor in the laws regarding leprosy? That would have to be somebody that is losing their melanin, depigmentation, loss of melanin. That would not involve people with pheomelanin or animal melanin, which is what Caucasians have. And that is not me being mean. That is a fact, a verifiable fact. Go look it up. Pheomelanin. Pheomelanin is found in howler monkeys. It is found in freaking cocker spaniels. It is found in freaking orangutans. You know what I'm saying? Shaggy dogs. I mean, it's found in all types of animals, bro. It's animal melanin. Foxes. Why do you think the hair texture is the same? It's fur. All right, now let me pull up this this chart here. If I have it, I hope I do. If I don't, then it's all bad. We'll have to move on because I don't want to harbor on it. But if I don't have it here, then we'll just yes, I do. All praises to the highest. Okay. I need to put this up on the blog. I haven't done it yet. I should, just so people can have it if they want to share them on social media. But let's look at leprosy according to scripture here. All right. So number one, Miriam was cursed with leprosy. I'm not going to go through all these scriptures, but I'll just lay them out for you. You can go look them up on your own time. Numbers 12, 8 through 10, Miriam was cursed with pale skin, depigmentation. She was a black woman, so she was turned white because of the wrath of the Most High. All right. That means that she was a black woman, just like Moses was black, which is why his hand was turned white, then turned back to his other flesh. Obviously, we're talking about darker skinned people. All right. Naaman, he was healed of leprosy. He went to go dip into the Jordan 7 times and he was healed of leprosy, depigmentation. 2 Kings chapter 5, and that's verses 1 through 14. Then Gehazi was cursed with that leprosy that came from Naaman. All right. 2 Kings 5, 15 through 27. King Uzziah cursed with leprosy, depigmentation on his forehead. 2 Chronicles 16, 19 through 21. Noah, born as an albino, no pigment. Enoch 105, 1 through 6. Noah's father thought he was from the fallen angels due to his pale appearance. Enoch 106. Noah's melanin restored on the 8th day after his circumcision, and that is found in Writings of Abraham, chapter 8. So this movie or this JC cartoon is pushing lies and propaganda to the youth to villainize black folk. And see, the thing is, you got people like me who are here to just shut the whole party down, right? To rain upon the parade of sour cream supremacy. I come to rain on that parade. I come to shut it all down, man. Your boy has come to bring the facts, with seasoning, facts with seasoning, facts and seasoning. You feel me? Very, very good seasoning too. You know, Southern flavor. Smells like Alabama. All praises. All right, so let's continue on. But again, I showed you that video again just to show the concept of imagery, the concept of perception. Now, speaking of which, I want to show you guys another example of perception, the concept of perception. So let me show this next thing here. Now, this is what Black people have had to deal with in America all this time. So when I hear other races talk about being a victim, oh, shut the hell up. You sound goofy as hell. I mean, the fact that these individuals were able to get away with doing such stuff like this, and then it's like I make a episode about the fallen seed, and then they get all upset and angry about it. I mean, just stop it. Just stop it. So take a look at this.
Every time I wheel about a jump Jim Crow, I went down to the river. I didn't mean to stay, but there I saw so many gals I couldn't get away. Wheel about and turn about and do just so. Every time I wheel about a jump Jim Crow.
That's where the concept of Jim Crow came from. And my family specifically, we're in the South, specifically Mississippi Delta, during the time of Jim Crow. So I've heard so many stories about what the struggle was like for my family during all of that. It was so bad we had to flee further into the northern states because it was just so bad. We didn't think we was going to survive. But this is the type of this is what I mean when I talk about image and perception. Look at how we have been portrayed. Look at how we have become this byword, as the scriptures say. We have become this byword that the nations have mocked at and jeered at, and they have been able to use these negative images to control how everybody else sees us, how we see ourselves, how we are able to utilize resources and economics and so on and so forth. They use this. This is pure propaganda. Now I'm going to show you guys some images of a cartoon from the early 1940s showing the imagery, again, being pumped into children's minds, the youth, the babies. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. All right. You can see the Negroes here are being portrayed as lazy. This one here is picking cotton. You can see the exaggerated features. They're just sitting around. The women are often portrayed as hypersexualized. You can see them just sitting around. I think that this particular area that they're in is called Lazy Town. Okay, you can see this is like a light-skinned. You got a mammy right here. So every type of stereotype that you can think of, you've got the black man eating the watermelon. You've got the little babies here with the braids, but you can see the lips. Obviously light-skinned. All right, this is what I mean when I talk about imagery and I talk about perception. So when Black people have been portrayed in such, ways, and then you fast forward to the modern day society to where we are portrayed as thugs, we are portrayed as criminals, we are portrayed as dangerous and all of these things. But then you see the evil that continues to happen to our people and the law of justice that protects and covers up for all these lynchings that are going on, all our people that are going missing, all these black women that are going missing, our black women being targeted, our brothers, you know what I'm saying, being, you know what I'm saying, killed, shot by the police. It all stems from this propaganda here that has been allowed to be displayed against the children of Israel for so long. And people just laugh it off and act like America is not rooted in racism and that racism is not the blood of this nation. Babylon is not just drunk off the blood of the saints, drunk off the blood of the nation of Yahshua. The whole nation. That's just those of us that are living here now and those that have died years and years and years ago. It's at least 4 centuries. This land is soaked with blood. All right, we're going to continue. But again, I just wanted to show you guys a few examples of perception and image and why it has everything to do with what I'm talking about and discussing with you guys. Let's continue on. All right. Okay, so we looked at that. All right, now, next we're going to look at some information that I have here. This one right here. So the first bit of information that I also want to share with you guys is from an article entitled Racial and Gender Differences in the Relationship Between Children's Television Use and Self-Esteem. And this source is going to be from ResearchGate. All right. And it says racial differences. The case can be made that Black youth are particularly at risk. You know what? I can't even read this text. Salakia. There we go. The case can be made that Black youth are particularly at risk for developing low self-esteem. Cultivation theory predicts that the consequences of television exposure are most pronounced for its most frequent viewers. And in fact, African-American children have been found to consume more media than whites or other minority groups. Social identity theory predicts that efforts to maintain or bolster one's self-concept are dependent on the types of comparison that are made available. Unfortunately, for African-American children, the majority of comparisons available in the television world consist of characters who are unprofessional and provocatively dressed compared to white counterparts. In addition, children who watch television news will witness a world where Blacks are more likely to be shown as perpetrators of crimes than whites. Thus, frequent exposure to stereotypical images that portray Blacks as unprofessional and criminal may lead viewers to believe that these are true characteristics of Blacks in the real world. In this way, it is believed that frequent media use may negatively influence the evaluations among African-American youth, therefore leading to lower self-esteem. Okay, so basically what this is saying is when the imagery that the Black youth are consuming is overly negative, it will have an effect on that child's self-esteem and how that child perceives the world and themselves and the people that look like them. Whereas other demographics, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, I even think about being a child and watching Disney movies growing up as a child, just like every other child, and every character being white, every hero, every woman was like the dream woman was a white woman. It was a white man. It was never nobody Black. They all were blue-eyed, blonde-haired. That was a standard of beauty that you saw. Then you finally saw, a Black representation. It was the Princess and the Frog, but look how long that took. All right, so we're going to look at some more information, y'all. Now, let's quickly go to the browser so we can look at some more articles on this topic. So this next one that I want to show with you is about racial stereotypes. So we're going to just look at that real quickly here. Let me just pull it up. All praises. Okay. So this article is from the scholars.org, and it reads, how racial stereotypes in popular media affect people and what Hollywood can do to become more inclusive. All right. So we'll just quickly read through this. In 2015, the average U.S. resident consumed traditional and digital media for about 15.5 hours each day in the same year. 8 to 12-year-old children consume an average of 6 hours of media a day. That's a lot. And teens consume 9 hours. This mind-boggling amount of media consumption shapes how U.S. residents see the world. Yes, and racial imagery in the media has cumulative effects on society. Often biased media portrayals of racial groups cannot be dismissed as mere entertainment, especially not if their impact on youth are taken seriously. This reminds me of that song that a lot of people have just been like, just going crazy about. I think it's called, what is it? Spin That, I think is what it's called. And it's just like, I've only heard the song because it's like, it's been on like social media or whatever. And I just decided to just listen to it to see what the heck everybody was talking about. I listened to it one time, bro. And the melody, it's just so, there's definitely some witchcraft on that song. There definitely is some witchcraft on that song. Absolutely. I don't know what spells they don't put on that, but stay away from that song, bro. Stay away. You talking about scamming niggas. And I'm just like, why do we glorify this? Our people have a proclivity to draw near to evil. And we're the ones who support this. You feel what I'm saying? We're the ones who support this stuff and help it go viral. My. Father, help us all. But this is what Babylon has done. And this is what I mean when I talk about image. Image. When it comes to, it's like and I think another thing about the Black Jesus concept is that I feel like we want to be able to control something that the ish people can't control, right? Because the ish people give us this mainstream hip hop and this ratchet stuff, right? You know, the ish people fund, Power and Empire and BET and all these black, the beak-nosed bastards. They're the ones who fund that stuff. Yeah, our people are the face of it, but it's a bunch of ish people behind all of it. It's a bunch of white men in suits, a bunch of shaggy white men in suits sitting around making decisions about the show, hiring the script writers and all of that. And them folks also happen to be a bunch of white men. You think any black people are making any executive decisions, nigga? Absolutely not. Nigga, absolutely not. They can't have that. It's the same thing with the music industry, nigga. We don't control anything, bro. So when I hear people blame black people for the hip hop music, I mean, yeah, we make the music, but who's behind the agenda? Who is getting paid for? Who's signing the contracts? Yeah, it's a rap. You can look at all these rappers that own these labels and all of that, but do these rappers actually own these labels? No, nigga. Why do you think every rapper you see that's getting signed is standing next to a bunch of white people? You ain't seeing a bunch of niggas. He's shaking hands with a bunch of niggas. They shaking hands with a bunch of Jewish people, my nigga. Come on, bro. Be honest with yourself. It's a bunch of pale skin. This is a bunch of white people that's all in the record label, the A&Rs and all of them. And if he is a black man that works in a record label, he ain't as high up as some of the other folks. Let's be real for real. Let's be real for real. Let's be real for real. The ish people don't believe in JC. Yeah, I know they don't believe in JC, but guess what? They don't believe in the Torah either. They believe in the Talmud and they believe in the Babylonian, Zohar. And that's another thing. Think about it. When you look at the scriptures and you look at what is written, I want you to think about it like this. You have these individuals, all right? The beak noses, we'll just go with that. The BBs, all right? Beak nosed bastards, the BBs. All right. So you got the BBs that owned the slave ships. So that tells you that there was a conspiracy that the BBs would conspire with the Christians, the Anglo-Saxon Christians, because they own the slave ships, and there's the Christians, or the white Christians, the Anglo-Saxons, that were doing all the, the lynchings and they own the plantations and all of that. So it was a collective effort to come after us. So that means that the Ish people, if they supplied the ships and provided them, they wanted us to convert to Christianity. Meanwhile, they're claiming to be the chosen. They're claiming the Torah is theirs, and they don't even believe in the Torah. They don't actually keep the Torah. No, they do not. No, they don't. We're supposed to. It's our Torah. Go tell a Jewish person you Tanakh only, and look how offended they'll get. They expect you to believe in JC. They expect you to believe in the New Testament. Because you're a Christian if you believe in the New Testament. Period, point blank. You're just a Christian. You believe the same thing the oppressor believes, and you use the oppressor's book. Yeah, you're a Christian. You are a Christian. There's no other way to cut it. Let's continue. Talking about betrayal. Harms from portrayals of racial and ethnic minorities in the media. Researchers have found that prolonged television exposure predicts a decrease in self-esteem for all girls and for Black boys, but an increase in self-esteem for white boys. These differences correlate with racial and gender practices in Hollywood. Predominantly cast white men as heroes, yes, just like I said earlier, while erasing or subordinating other groups as villains, sidekicks, and sexual objects. Studies also show how media images of Native American mascots lower than... What the hell, man? Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me put my phone on mute. My bad. This thing is just going crazy. I'm like, what the hell, bro? Every time I go live. Every freaking time. My. Okay. All right. So continuing on, beyond specific effects on particular groups of viewers, racial images packaged as entertainment can skew the way all viewers understand and categorize people. Popular media can have negative impact on whites' perception of people of color, and racial stereotypes in film and television can exacerbate pre-existing racist fears. One study finds that popular media depictions of nonverbal features of people of color, including facial expressions and body language, influence racial biases for white viewers. Wow. Okay. All right, we're going to move on. All right, this next thing is another report, and it is called Racial Media Microaggression, Impact on Black Adolescent Mental and Behavioral Health. And I just wanted to read this particular section from that article. And it says, while media is an important context through which adolescents explore the world or learn about others and shape their self-views, media use is sometimes associated with poor mental health outcomes. Social media and internet use has been linked to increased risk for depression, anxiety, and psychological distress, as well as behavioral outcomes, including aggression and substance use. Highlights the role of television and emerging media in shaping the personal and social attitudes of adolescents of color, focusing on the psychosocial impact of multicultural portrayals of their absence on television and how these portrayals influence self-esteem, identity, and worldviews. Thus, for youth of color, racial discrimination experienced via the media may have significant negative impact on their mental and behavioral health. Continuing on, in a series of studies, Times documented that Black adolescents exposed to online racial discrimination through internet-based platforms, i.e., text messaging, online chat, discussion forums, online games, etc., were at greater risk for poor psychological functioning, including post-traumatic stress disorder, symptoms, depression, and suicidal ideation. While these studies provide crucial insights into the effects of racial discrimination exposure via media on the health of Black adolescents, they primarily focus on overt forms of discrimination, such as people making demeaning comments about one's racial background, being shown racist images, or being threatened with violence. Well, you know what? I feel like in today's age, I feel like that's exacerbated times 100. I mean, if you look at just the door that's been open to racism nowadays. Back then, people were a lot more covert about racism. You had overt racism and you had covert racism. I don't even think covert racism is a thing anymore. I think it's all gone. I think it's extinct. I think it's gone. I think the mask is off. The mask is off, y'all. All right, now we're going to move on here. I got a few more things here that I want to take you guys through. Got some more videos I want to show you as well. So let's keep this thing going. We're done with these articles for now. Let's continue on. All right. And lastly, since we're talking about image and perception, and we talked about the youth and how the youth perceive these images of perception. We showed you cartoons, and we're talking about the youth because the youth are the future, and how the Black children see themselves is very, 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 very important. Now, as a result of sour cream supremacy in the bloodline of Cain, I want to show you what is the result to many of our babies as a result of what we know of as perception in the Black community. So let me go ahead and show you this next video. It's really heartbreaking, but this is what has been done to our minds and the perception of the Black man, Black woman, Black child. So let me show you guys this next thing here. No sound. Hold on, y'all. Hang on, y'all. Okay, there we go.
Which doll is white? Which doll is black? Which one is pretty? This one.
Which one is pretty? Which one is ugly? And which one is good? Which one is bad? Which one is good? Why is she good?
Because she has blue eyes.
Which one is bad? Why is she bad?
Because everything is black. And which doll looks more like you?
So it's so important. And listen, as a Black person, I understand that that black representation does matter, but I don't think that all black representation is good representation. I think that there's good black representation and then there's bad black representation. So I don't accept all black representation because not all of it is good. As a matter of fact, some black representation does more harm than it does good. Okay, I don't, for example, I do not support house nigga black representation. Why under the dome would I support house nigga black representation? So if I see house niggas or I see black people connected to the Boule, connected to Prince Hall Freemasonry, connected to our enemies, you know, FBA on MAGA side, you know, kissing the white man's ass, creaming the white man's butt crack. Yeah, nigga, I ain't with that type of black representation, my nigga. All right. I'm not, you know, I don't accept all black representation, bro. Okay. So it's important for us to be able to undo a lot of what we thought or what we perceive about our image and how we see ourselves. And so, again, it is understandable why our people would attach to this concept of a man that is the Son of God, that is the, you know, perfected image of what one would call God. I could understand why a black person would attach to this. And then also discuss self-esteem when talking about this. Now let's continue on. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Please hit the like button, family. All right. Let's keep this going. We're almost done. All right. Now, continuing on. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about image is because it has everything to do with how we see ourselves. And it just so happens that this is exactly how the enemies of Yahuwah have ensnared us. On? Whoops. There we go. Now, very quickly, I would like to show you the images of black people in America. Actually, you know, we'll skip that because I actually showed it to you earlier, so we'll keep it going. Now, when you factor in the anti-blackness that has in being the byword and how much the world hates us and only promotes negative imagery of us, it will make sense why black people would attach to this idea of the Son of God or a black man that is, you know what I'm saying, this redeemer, this black Messiah, right? Now, I want to show you guys something about the conditioning and how the conditioning has kind of forced us into this headspace of we have to believe in some man. We must believe in some kind of Messiah type character. It would also make sense that we coming straight out of Christianity as Israelites would automatically gravitate towards this black Messiah because we have been conditioned to believe that the New Testament is the word of Yahuwah. A lot of our people believe it is, but it is not. It is a deception. And very quickly, I want to demonstrate how we have been conditioned to accept this character, even in our awakening. Why? To keep us in sin. Now, I'm going to just show you guys a handful of rappers, artists, you know what I'm saying, with album covers, and you're all going to see all of them have this imagery of this JC character. All of them do. And it's the crown of thorns depicting themselves as JC because our enemies, now we know our enemies are behind the music industry. We can all agree on that, right? Okay, all praises to the Most High. So if we know our enemies are behind this music industry, then why do you think that they would put it in these music videos to show this black JC? It's because it's a psyop to keep you in idolatry. All right. So let's go ahead and look at these several different examples. Of course, I'm putting my own music on it because I can't play the music from these artists. but I'm going to just show you a handful of these rappers, these artists, and so many other individuals, you know, with this Black Jesus imagery and the conditioning. All right, so here we go. All right, switch this out. And let me full screen it.
Couldn't we at least let Black Jesus hang alongside?
Forget it. The only Jesus I know is him, and the one thing he don't need is a partner.
Mama, how do we know Jesus wasn't black? He could have been from the lost tribe of Israel. They were supposed to be black.
I bet they were. If ever people were lost, we're it.
Now just hush up, both of you. This picture has been in my family for as long as I can remember. When I was a baby, I don't know what I saw first. My mama, my papa, or this Jesus. Now, he's the one I know and love, so let's close the subject.
Jesus was black, the Bible would have said so.
But it does say so.
What are you talking about?
I read about it. It's in Revelations chapter 1, verse 14. I read about it in Muhammad Speaks. It says, his hair is like wool, and his eyes are like flame of fire.
Well, Lord have mercy. It sure do say that, don't it?
And see, Mama, look at that hair, like wool, ain't it? And look at them eyes, red like fire.
Yeah, they sure is. Junior, how come you decided to paint this?
I don't know.
Let me run that back. Let me run that back real quick, fam. So I want y'all to notice this, bro. It's the same damn devil. All right. It don't matter if you make them black. It's the same freaking image, bro, and the same hand symbol. So when I see our people talk about, oh, well, we know he's black, bro, so what? That's the same devil. That is the devil in disguise. That is Lucifer in disguise. That is Baphomet in disguise, bro. That's all it is. It's just Baphomet with a black face. That's all. It's still the same devil. It's still Lucifer. And like I said, if you look at every black image, you see a JC, you see a freaking halo around his freaking head. Nigga, you can't tell me that ain't pagan. You can't tell me that ain't sun god worship, bro. It don't matter if he's black, bro. They all throwing up pagan, evil ass symbols, bro. I don't care if he's black. It's a fictional character, and it's literally the devil in disguise. Y'all act like the devil don't come as a black man sometimes. He absolutely can. What do you think a house nigga is? Just playing. I mean, you might as well just use that analogy for real. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's continue on.
Yeah, they sure is. Junior, how come you decided to paint this?
I don't know. All of a sudden, I just had divine thoughts on my mind.
And for JJ, that's a first.
What, having divine thoughts?
No, having a mind.
I guess I ought to be grateful for JJ having Jesus on his mind in any color.
Then we can hang on the wall, Mama?
Well, now,
Please, Mama.
All right. But just for Black History Week. After that, he comes down.
All right. Okay. All right. So, again, you can see the programming. You saw all of these rappers. Now, like I said, if this industry is run by our enemies, why do they want these rappers portraying this character? To keep our minds in the lie. Now, speaking of rappers, I did a video about Kendrick on Patreon. I had to take it down from here because of copyright issues, but it's on Patreon, though. Now, this is Kendrick's album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. This is the album cover on it, and I already showed a image of it earlier when I showed you the video that I just did. But I want you to pay attention to this right here, though. Okay, there's some Freemason stuff. Now, this is Kendrick. This is what he posted, about his album when it first came out. And here's a close-up. You can see the book and you can see the two discs, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, right? But here's another thing, though. Did y'all know that this is literally based upon Albert Pike's book, Morals and Dogma, which is a 33rd degree Freemason who, by the way, was a Confederate general? Here, let me go ahead and show you. Now, look at the book. Look at it real good. See how it's red? You know what I'm saying? And it's this color. All right? Just keep this in your mind, okay? Matter of fact, here, I'm going to do a side-by-side so you can see it a little bit better. A little bit better. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, Barack Yahuwah. Okay. I'm going to do a side-by-side, all right? So y'all can see it real good. Okay, so you can see how the book looks. You can see it's red. You can see all of that, right? Get a good look at it. Lock it into your mind, okay? Lock in with me. Now, let's switch over to Albert Pike's book. Boom. Bro, it's the same book, all right? He's got Freemason symbolism right on his album cover, y'all. And that's why I say a lot of these rappers are sellouts. You feel me? Kendrick is a sellout. And I know people get mad at me when I say that, bro. It's nothing against, I'm not taking away from his music. I used to listen to him. You know what I'm saying? But a sellout is a sellout, bro. Straight up. Let me switch it back. Look, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Morals and Dogma. All right? It's right there on the freaking, on the dang album cover. It's based upon this. And if you look right here, you can see the Egypt symbolism, the Kemetic symbolism right here, all right, connected to Freemasonry as well. You know, you see a lot of Egyptian symbolism in Freemasonry, of course, the pyramid, the all-seeing eye, so on and so forth. Eye of Ra is what they call it. So it's everywhere. But yeah, so you have that right there in plain sight. So it's clearly a Freemason psyop that Kendrick Lamar is wearing a crown of thorns. All right, on that album cover, which is also reference to this Albert Pike book. And this is Albert Pike. Now, what I find to be so interesting, y'all, this is Albert Pike right here. What I find to be so interesting, though, about Albert Pike is he was a 33rd degree Freemason, right? But he was also a Confederate general in the Civil War. So he was one of those who led the army to fight against, the Union because he wanted to keep his slaves. Now, he has a lot to do with what this world is going to become. And he talked about how this world is going to be ushered into worshiping Lucifer, and this false light, which is JC, which is why it's called the light of the world. All right. The false light of Lucifer, which is JC, the New Testament Messiah. Now, I find it interesting that he has so much to do with, you know what I'm saying, these end times and like, you know, these world wars and all of that, but he was also connected to the Triple K. The Triple K, bro. So he was a Confederate general. He was part of the Triple K. And he has a lot to do with the end times and all these world wars and all of this connected to Freemasonry. Now I realize the conspiracy and the Psalms 83 is really what it is. It is a straight up conspiracy against all the Negroes. It really is all about us, even when it comes to this Christianity deception. Even when it comes to this Christianity deception, what do I mean by that? They don't care if Asians are Christian. They don't care if white people are Christian. They don't care if any other nation outside of the Negro Bantus are Christian. They want to make sure we are, because we're the chosen. We're the ones that will get in trouble for being in idolatry to the Most High. We're the ones he's in covenant with, which is the same reason why the New Testament teaches you not to get circumcised. But the Most High said it's perpetual. The Tanakh and the New Testament, bro, they do not go together. They do not. When you really study the Torah, when you really look at the prophecy, when you really get your mind out of this false concept of this JC, this son of God, these false lies, when in Exodus 4:22, the Most High said, my son is Israel. Yasharal is my son. And he said, out of Egypt have I called his children. He didn't say out of Egypt have I called my son. He said, out of Egypt have I called his children, Jacob. And that's in the Septuagint, which came way before your KJV. Them Ish people who were behind the KJV, they wanted to make sure they pointed you towards this false Messiah. They were behind the KJV. The Masoretes, yeah, that's them folk. They were behind it. And guess what? The Masoretic text is exactly what everybody uses that believes in this false Christ, this false New Testament. They all use these Masoretic books. They use the Sefer, they use the KJV, they use the NIT, NLT, all these modern day Bibles, the slave master books. I'm the only one who don't use it. Well, I'm not the only one, but I'm an Israelite who stays away from it because I understand my enemies. I understand the deception of my enemies. And that's why I don't believe in this false Messiah, because I'm not reading these Masoretic Bibles that these Ish people have approved to keep you in the lie. That's the difference between me and a lot of these other individuals who do believe in him. I see through the lies, bro. And it really, honestly, bro, the Septuagint is what led me to understand this JC thing is false. So all praises to the Most High. I mean, I just was diligently seeking for a word that's going to be reliable, that translations is on point and is closer to the truth. And in all my digging and all my seeking Yahuwah, I have actually cracked the code. All praises to the Most High. I have uncovered one of the biggest deceptions of this end times. Bro, wow. Oh my gosh. I got to take that in for a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to take that in for a minute. No diddy. I have literally uncovered some of the biggest deceptions of this world. I have uncovered who the fallen seed is. I have been able to connect it to these folks who have made our lives miserable since they've been here. I've been able to understand who they come from, what they are, what bloodline they are. I've been able to understand that the judgment of the Most High is up on them, which is why they hate us so much, which is why their birth rates are low. And I'm just like, then I'm able to connect that to the end times and why the end times is really all about them being angry in this kingdom of Daniel. The kingdom of Daniel talks about a mixed seed, which would be a people who are not fully human. And then I realized this Luciferian kingdom is that fourth kingdom of Daniel. And I'm realizing it's run by a bunch of hybrids. Bro, I've cracked all the codes, my nigga. I have been the Israelite who's been able to crack through all of these big deceptions, bro. It's just, It's just who out there is going to receive this information, who out there is going to be able to, go back and say, I need to re-examine the scriptures. I need to re-examine the Torah. I need to re-examine the Tanakh because I didn't did it. The first step is accepting that you know what I'm saying, nobody has it all figured out. You got to be a diligent researcher. You got to be. The reason why I'm just, you know what I'm saying, I'm just the person that I am is because I'm just a person who likes digging into things. And being the person that I am, knowing I'm a researcher, y'all should not be surprised I came to this understanding. You never stop. You never stop seeking the Most High. You just don't. I don't want no stagnant relationship with the highest. You crazy. We don't believe in fallen angels. I mean, you don't have to believe in fallen angels, but it is in the word of the Most High. I believe the word of the Most High. I don't believe everything is the word of the Most High, but in the Torah, it literally says that. As a matter of fact, we know this is true because we know that there are people who are not fully human on this earth right now. We know that there are people who are not created by the Most High. We know that there are people who are cursed by the Most High. We know that there are people who are not even able to breathe anymore, that are marked for destruction, that are the offspring of the devil, the offspring of Lucifer. And they're actually behind this religion, and they're behind this Jesus, and they're behind this New Testament, and they're behind every evil that has been done, every world war. Look at the imperialism you're seeing in America right now. Yeah, that's them. That's them. That is them. I think they're going to trick us with a black AC. Well, look, I'm going to tell you this, bro. I'm going to say this. I do believe Obama's coming back on the scene. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you this. This is not a prediction. Oh, Queen Raya, you feel so too? Yeah, sis. I've been feeling it for a while. He's going to come back. All right. And this is not a prophetic statement that I'm about to make. So please don't hold this to be a prophecy. All right. I'm not being prophetic right now, but Trump is going to end up dead. All right. Trump is going to end up dead. I'm prophetic, but I'm not a prophet. Okay. I'm just looking at how things are going. I'm looking at this conditioning that they're giving you, where they're over here talking about they're going to come for him and they're going to do this and do that. And then you look at these so-called assassinations, it's sort of fake as hell. All right. They were conditioning you to accept that. So yes, he will be eventually. Yeah. Even whether you think it's real or false, you know what I'm saying? It's just going to be another psyop, but nonetheless, he'll be taken out of the way and somebody else is going to come. And I believe it could be Obama. I could be wrong, but you know what I'm saying? I think it could be Vance, possibly. But whoever is going to be the next contender, this next so-called election or whatever they're going to do, whatever the heck they got going on in Babylon, bro, is you know what I'm saying? He's going to get taken out of the way. It's going to be somebody else. Because everybody right now this is the perfect time for an anti-Messiah. Why? Or some type of leader, some type of character that, because like I said, Trump has already planted the seeds with this Christianity thing. And I think it has a lot to do with this Pope, this new Pope. Notice the beef between Trump and the Pope. Okay, they're going to lead you right into this one world Christian, you know what I'm saying, New Testament religion. That's what it's going to all tie to, bro. And us Tanakh only niggas, bro, we going to be laughing, be like, bro, all this religion is goofy, bro. It got nothing to do with this bullcrap New Testament. Well, the New Testament says I don't believe in it, nigga. Ain't nobody going to be preaching the laws. Ain't nobody going to be preaching the Torah with this one world religion, bro. It's going to be a way to lead you to Lucifer. And everybody that believe in that New Testament and that JC, including Islam, including these Messianic-ish people and these Christians and these Christian lights, bro, y'all all going to be part of this. Because listen, if you think about these camps, bro, these camps have been using this black JC image to continue to deceive our people, bro. Like, let's just go to YouTube right now. And let's just go and type in Christ is Black. Look how many videos you see of these camps. And I'm not talking about all camps. There are some cool camps. Shout out to GOZ. Gates of Zion. But I just see so many of these Israelites pushing this image constantly, bro. Constantly, over and over again. And I'm just like, bro, y'all are the ops, man. Y'all are keeping our people in idolatry. Look, if I just go right here, IUIC, and I just type in Christ is black, look how many videos you see pop up. And then you see all of this idolatry with all of these images. Somebody just joined a membership. Shaul just joined a membership. All praises to the Most High. Thank you so much. If you guys are enjoying the stream, feel free to hit the like button. Please support the stream if you can. I really appreciate it. All praises to the Most High. If you can't support the stream, please hit the like button. Appreciate it. All right. So let's look at this. So look, bro. This is idolatry. You see? They always got this image. Christ is black. Here's the proof. The Israelites, Christ is black. IUIC. Jesus is black and he don't love white people. Okay? How Christianity hid the identity of black people. Look, another JC. So look, this is a Masonic organization, which is IUIC. And I'm not saying the members are Masons, but the leader definitely is. These leaders are definitely connected to Masonry. Bro, everywhere you go, bro, you see this image. And it's like, I knew that the camps were COINTELPRO, right? I knew a lot of them were like these really big ones, like ISUPK, all those ones that clearly got, ish money behind them. Clearly. I knew something was off about them. But now that I realize that the New Testament is a lie and this whole concept of JC is a lie, I really realize how much more greater of a threat these camps are to our people. It's not just the 12 tribes chart. It's not just the spaceships and the UFOs and all that other goofy stuff, but also the concept of them, or even them rejecting flat earth. Like, I'm just like, what the heck, right? But also to keep this idol in our minds by continuing to show this image to us. And that's why I say, bro, not everybody is for us. Now look at this. Yahushai is Thanos. The Avengers. Well. And by the way, we type in Yahushai, and what do we see? UFOs. You know what I'm saying? He got on a superhero outfit. I mean, bro, what type of stuff is this, bro? This look like some comic book, Dragon Ball Z type stuff, bro. This look like something straight out of a fairy tale. A freaking spaceship, and he over here dressed up with this ninja garment on. I mean, come on, man. Let's be for real. I mean, and don't get me wrong, it looked like it will make an epic movie. But bro, this is a freaking fairy tale. Like, why are we playing with the Most High like this? This Dragon Ball Z, come on, my nigga. Kamehameha, my nigga. Senzu beans, my nigga. Spirit bombs, my nigga, for real. Come on, bro. Stop it. Stop it, family. This is absolutely retarded. Look at this. A freaking spaceship. This dude being beamed up. My nigga. A lot of these camps, and I'm not talking about all of them, okay? But these really, really big ones pushing these images, controlled opposition. Like, what is this, man? Yeah, when I first saw the name Yahushai, I thought it was Yahawashishi. Like, I'm like, whoa, this sounds like some anime type stuff. Like, what is this? Like Naruto? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like some Yu Yu Hakusho type stuff right here, bro. Like, how about the world? No, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, put a subtitle under that, man. Like, how the hell you get Yahawashishi, bro? This is like some Chinese stuff. I'm like, it's like some Asiatic influence going on right here, bro. It's like, what is this? Some Japanese anime or something, man. Gotta give me a bowl of rice to eat and watch with it or something. It's just like, what? Like, I need to go, you know what I'm saying? Go get me some go to a dang convention center and go dress up as a superhero or something. All movies depict hero savior characters. So this right here, fam, is a problem. All right. And it is our people that are pushing this image. All right. Now, I understand when you're trying to help our people understand some things, that can make total sense. But carrying around an image and selling t-shirts of this, absolutely not. Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. It just keeps us in idolatry, and it leads us to a place of, kind of ignoring everything the Most High said about idolatry. And see, when the scriptures mention a graven image is something that is engraved upon. So typically when our people were worshiping idols, they were taking like stones and they were taking wood and they were like carving and actually, engraving idols and things of that nature. But you know what? Even in the modern day, even if you're not engraving an actual image, images in general are a no-no to the Most High. If I want to prove to somebody that the Most High is a black man, all I got to do is go to Daniel 7:9 and then show you what freaking burnt brass looks like. Show you what sheep wool looks like. It's not that hard. I am black and comely, O daughter of Jerusalem. Why you got to show somebody what black look like, nigga? It's right there in the scriptures. Clearly, Samson had dreadlocks. You talking about he had them rat tails like them ish people be having dangling off the side of his head, some freaking rat tails? You think that's what Samson had, nigga? He had full-on dreads. That's not hard to figure out who this book is about, bro. We don't need to show no freaking images. The Most High spoke against this explicitly. Maybe not the concept of AI, but just images of what is in heaven above. Our people didn't need to do that because our people did not have a culture of drawing images of the Most High or the angels or any of that. Yahuwah sounds like a little kid came up with that name. That name has no power. Okay, how about this? Fuck Jesus Christ. Fuck the New Testament. How about that? You happy now? Continuing on. I'm just like, yo, hey, I'm not even playing today, bro. So going back to IUIC. I'm for real, bro. F the New Testament, F JC, F all these idols, F everything these Christians be talking about, these white people be talking about, F that book, nigga. Burn the New Testament. I'm serious. Burn the New Testament. I'm going to make a song called Burn the New Testament, and I'm going to make a song called The Dead Man on a Stick. You feel me? I'm definitely going to be making some more songs, bro. Burn the New Testament. Real shit. But anyway, all right. So you can see all of these videos, bro, with this idol, bro, all over this ish, bro. And the reason why they're allowed to speak about this idol, the reason why they're allowed to speak about this idol and say it so loud and proud and get billboards and get $50 million and get funding and all of that ish is because they got ish money behind it, because it's part of the Psyop. Yes, I dropped the F-bomb, bro, because I'm just tired of people disrespecting the Most High, bro, in front of me. You feel me? I'm just tired of it. You start talking about the Most High's name, nigga. Oh, bro. Just to defend your pagan, heathen, you know what I'm saying, useless, worthless idol. Yeah, man. Disrespect to the Most High. Yeah, I don't play that. And really, I'm really on some F the New Testament. I'm really on some FJC, bro. And I really don't give a damn what nobody says, bro. Cry about it. Now let's continue here. I still have so much more that I have to show you guys. So we're gonna continue on here. All right. Now I talked about Putin earlier because he did show this image of this JC character here. Okay. And yeah, look, to those out there who probably was caught off guard that I did that. Listen, I did not mean to. It's just I don't appreciate. You know what I'm saying? If you want to believe in that idol, bro, that's totally on you, bro. I don't care. But don't ever in your life, nigga. Don't you ever in your life, nigga, disrespect the name of Yahuwah in front of me, homie. Don't you ever in your life, talking about it has no power, but here you are believing on some freaking dead man on a freaking stick, bro. A dead man on a freaking stick that ain't came back, ain't coming back. 2,000 years, this nigga still ain't came back. He ain't coming back. Got his ass whooped and ain't did shit. Got smacked around and ain't did shit. Got spit on and ain't did shit. And that's supposed to be a deliverer? How is the Most High going to demonstrate his power through a failure? 2,000 years later, and you still waiting on this goofy ass dead man that never existed, by the way. It was a nice fairy tale, though. And it's like, look, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'm gonna just speak on it. I saw a video the other day where somebody that I know that be on this channel was on TikTok, and one of our y'all only brothers came on his show and asked him about the Tanakh, and immediately he dismissed the conversation. I've noticed a lot of people, when it comes to this character that they believe in so much and they believe that their salvation is tied to, they really are afraid of answering very simple questions when it comes to this character. And it goes to show that you really, truly do not really believe this. And you know what I'm saying has validity. It just scares you to challenge what you believe to be true. And I think that is a dangerous mindset. I think it's a dangerous mindset to just believe you're right about everything and you're never wrong and you got the full truth, especially being the fact you are an Israelite that came out of Christianity and you're still holding to the same belief system. Is it really different than what the Christians are doing? Is it really different, though? Even if you're saying I'm an Israelite and no, I don't do the pagan holidays and no, I don't bow down to images, but nonetheless, the story is still attached to what the slave master said, what the slave master goes by, and what the slave master introduced to you, because there's a gang of things introduced in the New Testament that are not in the Tanakh. No water baptism in the Tanakh. No kingdom of heaven being inside you in the Tanakh. No believing on somebody's blood and human sacrifice to be saved in the Tanakh. There is no Israelite saying, well, it has been written in the law that it says this and it says that, but verily, verily, I say unto you, changing the law. Yeah, that's not in the Tanakh. Picking corn on Shabbat, that's not in the Tanakh. Touching unclean things, touching dead girls and lepers and unclean things without doing a ritual cleansing, yeah, that's against the Tanakh. And you're telling me that this man was sinless? Bull spick. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep it clean. I know there's some young ones watching me. Salaki, if I drop that F-bomb, but the disrespect of the Most High, man, yeah, bro. I really would fire on somebody. Like, if somebody was literally in front of me and said that, I would sock them out. I'm serious. I would sock somebody out, bro. Like, I know, bro, when we got to go to war against our enemies and take prisoners of war and wrangle up these heathens, I'm probably going to be one of the main niggas, you know what I'm saying, with the ish when it's time to get down with it. When did you come to this conclusion? What does it say? Hold on, let me see. This person said when did you come to this conclusion? Hold on. When did you come to this conclusion about the New Testament? Just curious. I like a lot of your views. Well, when I had left YouTube, I've explained this a few times, but I mean, you came at me very respectfully and you said something from the very beginning. So I feel like I could give you a fair explanation. You seem genuinely curious. So I came to this conclusion around the time I had left YouTube for about 3 months. And by the way, fam, with the Black Jesus show, I'm going to just stop here and we'll finish the rest of it in the next segment, next time. But so we'll land it here. But to answer your question, I kind of came to this conclusion, quite some time ago. I had left YouTube for like 3 months, and I had spent a lot of time in the Word studying, like heavy studying. I left social media, went dark on social media, left all the platforms, left YouTube, wasn't even logged in, just stayed off of it for a while, was just in the Word. Prior to me leaving YouTube, I had already been questioning the New Testament for a very long time. If you look at my video, John 3:16 makes no sense. That was one of those things that was like pointing out that something is about this just don't seem right. And it's like they done did so much. And then, like I said, as I just continued to just like, dig into the Word and read the Torah and read the Tanakh, I just started to realize that the New Testament really is false. And JC, Yahusha, Yahweh, whatever you call him, he does not fit the scriptures at all. And the Most High would not sacrifice his own son for our sins. Nobody can die for your sins. So here's the thing. How they tricked us is because when you think about the so-called Bible, every time it was given to you, it was never just the Old Testament. It was never just the New Testament. They gave it to you together. I want you to think about how diabolical that is. Bro. So they could always ingrain up in your mind that these two books are connected. They gave you the full thing with both of them interconnected. All right. Just so whenever you look at it or you think of it as a whole, you put them all together. That was the first deception. The second deception was to divide them between the Old Testament and the New Testament. There was only the Tanakh and the covenant that is to come, which obviously hasn't happened yet because we're in captivity. But in order to continue on, and here's another thing, they even went further to deceive you because it should be covenants. The Most High works in covenants. The Most High didn't make a testament with Abraham. He made a covenant with him. So to downplay the covenant, they called it testament. Then what they did is when they changed it from covenant to testament, they took the covenant word or testament, and then they took what was written as a renewed covenant in Jeremiah 31:31, and then they transferred it over to this JC and hijacked it. So they can make you think that the New Testament is a continuation of the so-called Old Testament. You see how they did that? That's diabolical and demonic as hell. So once I was able to break the programming that these were two separate books, that was how I was able to really see some things. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Obadiah is pretty important, it seems like. The day of Yahuwah, very important, it seems like. But wait a minute. Why is these prophecies not echoed all throughout this New Testament? The day of Yahuwah is constantly mentioned by the prophets, but they never mention nothing that Revelation says. And then if you look at Revelation, some of what Revelation has and some of what the New Testament has is taken from prophecies in the Tanakh. And I realized what they were doing is taking prophecies from the Tanakh and inserting in the New Testament to try to give it credibility, but doing it completely out of context. And if you know the Tanakh and you go back to the Tanakh with these verses that they're trying to reference, you will notice that there are even commandments JC mentions that are not found anywhere in the scriptures. So I started to pick apart his words. I started to pick apart what we're expected to believe. And I realized that even the concept of him dying for our sins is literally saying the Most High gave his son to be sacrificed. Yeah, that would be something the Most High would never do, considering how much he hates it, that our own people were doing it, and he literally sent us into slavery just for that. And I'm like, so he saved us by committing a sin that he hated us doing? Yeah, that makes no sense. But if you want to see, you know, all the videos, just go to my page. I have a whole playlist. Why I no longer believe in the New Testament. And I went through a whole bunch of verses, a whole bunch of scriptures, all of that. Like I said, I know some people, I make a lot of content, and some people probably just need to catch up to everything I've been showing y'all. But the bottom line is, bro, the bottom line is I have been proving and showing and going through all of this evidence that this is a false book and it has nothing to do with Yahuwah. And so far, every person who's tried to come out and defend it, all I see is a bunch of niggas using the KJV and these Jewish-approved Bibles to try to debunk me while holding and so strongly to this New Testament, ignoring the prophets, ignoring the word of the Most High, ignoring what the Torah says, just to defend this idol. And I'm like, yeah, you are a bona fide idolater. You are a bona fide idolater. You don't care nothing about what the Most High says because you have been trained to put this idol over him. And every single day, Israelites are proving it. And I understand because I was, you know, in some ways I was like that. I can't say I'm fully like that because, I mean, I still knew Torah. I still incorporated a lot of the Old Testament into a lot of things I was saying, but regardless. All right, now let me show you this Putin thing, actually. That's one thing I meant to show y'all. Putin. Actually, you know what? No. I'll save it for the next episode. Let me just write it down that I stopped at Putin so I can make sure I pick up from there. Stopped. Putin. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you guys got to watch the playlist. I don't be wanting to always explain things over and over and over again. It gets really tiring doing that. I have been very open and honest about this from the very beginning. And yeah, bro. I've been open and honest. Since I came into this understanding, I've been very vocal about it. And I feel like I've proven, you know what I'm saying, conclusively the New Testament is false. And the crazy thing is, like I said, because this idol and because of the effect he has on our people literally ignore all the receipts I bring out. And look, a whole playlist. And I've been proving it, everything. Like, and y'all know my videos be long as hell, bro. Look, I just want to show y'all all of this work I've been putting in. Look, why I no longer believe in the New Testament. New Testament lies exposed. Look at all. Wow. I don't lost track of how many videos I've done. Let me see in this series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And this is the 12th video. Yep. Yeah. Been putting in that work over here. And then this one is Yahuwah only teachings. So yeah. Yeah, man, you gotta definitely I think people just have to, you know, pay attention to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I know some people don't know, but like I said, I don't really have time to really kind of slow down for people anymore. If you missed the train, bro, you missed the train. It was 11. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. This is the 12th one. I talk and read Hebrew and Greek. Yahushua is many will be called, but well, I mean, it doesn't matter what you call him, though. He's still false. It doesn't matter if you give him a Hebrew name. And by the way, I can prove his name is not Yahushua. You know why? I know Hebrew, and I can prove it right now. So, first of all, let's look at the name Jesse. Because Jesse, actually, you know what? Here, let me ask you a question. You said you speak Hebrew. What is Jesse, David's dad's name in Hebrew? What is Jesse's dad or Salaki, David's dad, Jesse, what is his name in Hebrew? Because that's how I'm about to destroy Yahushua right now. I mean, even though I'm just destroying Yahushua, Yahusha, the New Testament in general, I'm talking about that particular name. Because if you want to liken that name to like Yahusha or Joshua, yeah, that's definitely not correct. I mean, it literally sounds like a Japanese name. Doesn't even sound Hebrew at all. Nothing about it is Hebrew. What is David's dad, Jesse? What is his name in Hebrew? Over this last few months, I've seen people saying Yahuwah is just a name and it means nothing. Sheesh. Yeah, I mean, you know, people, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just a lot of people just saying things just randomly with no proof. Yes, say no, that's not how it's pronounced. I'm waiting for this person to tell me. They said they know Hebrew. Okay, so I guess you don't know. All right, all praises. Well, let me show you why it's not Yahushai. All right, so let's go to 1 Chronicles 10:14, and we're gonna look at the name Jesse, because Jesse is the closest thing you get to something like what you pronounce as Yahushai. All right, but the thing is, y'all pronounce it a different way than how it should be pronounced, but I'll show y'all what I mean. Now, the way you guys pronounce Yahushai, okay? And like I said, I don't believe in Yahushai. I'm just showing you that this Hebrew y'all claim to believe in is false. And it's just a bunch of Yiddish bullcrap that y'all clearly learned through Campianity. But let me just show you right now. So right here is Yeshai. Yeshai is actually how you say Jesse in Hebrew. Yeshai, okay? Yad, Sheen, Yad, Yeshai. Now, y'all say that the false Messiah, the New Testament Messiah's name is Yahushai. So why is it that there's a sheen in his name? Hold on, let me point to this. Why is it that there's a sheen in his name, but then there's just another yod right here? Why is there not a ayin like you see in the name Yahusha or Joshua? Now, so we see Yeshai, all right, which is the same pronunciation as Yahushai at the end. That's shy, right? But right here, it's spelled differently than what y'all claim. Now, let's look at the name Joshua, what you guys pronounce as Yahushai. All right? Now, let's look at his name. What I've noticed about all of y'all that believe in this name Yahushai is y'all don't even know the name of the letters y'all use in Hebrew. Y'all use the sounds as a way to name the letters, but every single one of these letters has a numerical value and a name. And y'all don't even know the name. And that's what I'm like, how are y'all going to even tell me anything about Hebrew? But anyway, let me show y'all what I mean. So right here, Joshua. Now, let's look at this. If you now the problem with how y'all pronounce it, bro, is y'all like take this ua right here and y'all literally pronounce it with the wa sound. And then y'all take the sheen and y'all say that it makes the SHA sound, which it does not. It makes the SH sound only. It does not make the SHA sound. And that's why y'all think it's Yahushai when it's actually Yahusha. Okay. Now, right here, they got Yahushua, but you know, them folks, they always lying. They always lying. Oh, why you lying? Why they always lying? Hey, they lying. Why they lying? Oh, yeah, they lying. No, I'm sorry. I haven't sung in a while. Y'all know me. But anyway, so Yahushai, or so you have now right here, look. So, oh, man, I hate that they have it like this. Okay, let me go to Bible Hub real quick because sometimes the Blue Letter Bible and the Hebrew can kind of be deceptive because all right, Bible Hub, they got the Yiddish thing going on here. Let me go to Bible Hub because I like it better there when they have the name Yahusha. All right, so like I said, bro, y'all don't really know like the actual letters, and you're acting like you're experts on the language, and you're not. Y'all over here saying I'm like, bro, this is all Yiddish. Like, this is not Hebrew. This is Yiddish. This is Germanic. This is not, you know what I'm saying, Afrocentric, bro. All right, so look, let me go back. All right, Joshua, right here. Yod ha ua shin ayin. Okay, now this is the proper spelling. Okay, now let's go to it. Strong's 3091. Okay, all praises. All right, so Yod ha ua shin ayin. Now, this is what they do, and this is why the language is flawed the way that y'all are doing it. So we pretty much agree on the same thing. Yod ha ua. All right. But except they don't look at this as a ua. They look at this as a wa. So they pronounce it yaha, wa, and then shy. That's how they pronounce it. Because they think that this sheen right here makes the SHA sound. And then they think that this letter here, which is the ayin, makes the I sound. So they say shy. All right. But remember, we looked at Yashai, who is the father of David. And his name was spelled Sheen. And then it was the Sheen, and then it was a Yod. So there was no ayin at the end. So the pronunciation is not the same. So I just cooked you. Y'all. And I noticed most of y'all Israelites who use this so-called Lashawan Kadash, y'all never say the name of the prophets in Hebrew. I know them all. Yakazakal was Ezekiel. Bro, I could literally go through every single book in the whole, you know what I'm saying, Tanakh, and tell you every single Hebrew name. Every single one. Right now. Let's do it right now. Let's go. Okay, all right. So, Genesis, Barashith, Shamuth, Uyakara, Bamadabar, Hadabarim, Yahusha, Shafatim, Ra'uth, Shamuah, Malaka or Malakim. Let's see. First Chronicles. I can't think of it right now. Azara, Naham Yahu, Hadassah, Ayub, Tahalim, Mashalim, Ecclesiastes. I can't think of that one right now. Yashayahu, Yaram Yahu, Kina. Hold on. Yashayahu, Yaram Yahu, Kina, Yakazaka, Daniel, Husha, Yahual, Amus, Abariyahu, Yahuna. Hold on. Yahuna, Mika, Nahum, Kabakuk, Zafanyahu, Kagai, Zakariyahu. Hold on. Wait. Who else? Malachi. Bro, that's all of them. Bro, I'm the king. All right. I mean, I'm not like the king, but I'm just talking about like when it comes to the language, I've got it. And I never see y'all Negroes ever go through these prophets and say all their names and know all the Hebrew. I've done the work, bro. Give a nigga some credit. Woo, 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 woo. Give a nigga credit, woo, woo, woo. Give a nigga credit like a woo, woo, woo. Give a nigga credit like a woo, 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 woo. Give a nigga credit like a woo, woo, woo. Give a nigga credit like a woo, woo, woo. No, I'm just playing. Anyway. So yeah, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've done the work. I've studied the language. You know what I'm saying? All praises. But no, I wanted to get back to what I was talking about, bro. So I saw a brother that I know that comes to this live, and he was on TikTok, and one of our y'all only brothers called into his show. He was on the show talking with this Gentile, this white man, right? Being all nice with the white man, being all friendly with the white man, right? Being all friendly with the white man as they talk about this, Christian, Israelite, whatever thing going on, right? But then one of my homies comes on, that's y'all only, one of our Israelite brothers. He comes on and he challenges him about John 3:16, and then he just is like, oh, he dismisses it, and he's like, nah, I don't want to talk about it. Have a nice day, brother. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you'll give all of this time and energy to a heathen, but when it comes to our own brothers who are probably trying to help educate you, you don't even want to give them an opportunity, but yet you want to ignore, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to give them opportunity, but you want to parlay with the heathen, especially the children of Lucifer. That's crazy, bro. Sometimes I feel like we are our own worst enemies, man. I just think we just, and it's like whenever I see people kind of like run away, as soon as I be like, okay, tell me in the Tanakh. And yes, I do use that line a lot because we have to go back to the Torah. We have to go back to Tanakh. Matter of fact, the word says in these last days, bro, we're going to go back to that book of remembrance, which is just another word for the Tanakh. But it literally says in the prophecies, bro, that we're going to return back to the book of the law. So if we're going to go back to the book of the law, it should also have told us we're going to go back to this New Testament. It's got to tell us we got to go back to the New Testament. We got to go back to the New Testament. But it don't say that, though. Let's go to that verse real quick. I believe it's Malachi. One of those M boys. Hold on, let me check. I got it right here. When I'm doing my Torah studies, I'm always going back, looking at these verses, though. All praises to the Most High. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Right here. All praises, all praises. Yep, right here. Malachi 4:4. Let's go there real quick, fam. Malachi 4:4. Malachi. And this is crazy because it's like in Malachi, that's literally the last book the Most High is speaking in the Tanakh. You know what I mean? Right here. Boom. Malachi 4:4. What did the Most High say? Yahuwah says. Actually, hold on. Let me scroll in a little bit more further, fam. Please hit the like button if you haven't, fam. I appreciate y'all. Remember the law. What does the Most High say? Remember the law of my servant Moses, accordingly as I charged him within it in Korah for all of Israel, even the commandments and the ordinances. And then what does it say in verse 5? And behold, I will send to you Elijah the Thespite before the great and glorious day of the Most High comes. So in these last days, right before the day of the Most High, the day of Yahuwah, that day of wrath upon our enemies, he's telling us to remember this law. Okay, he's telling us to remember the law of Moses. He ain't mentioned nothing about no JC. Now, what's Elijah going to do? To everybody who's been watching this channel, you already know about these end times. You already know about the signs because the Tanakh tells you everything to be ready for. So you know when the day of Yahuwah comes, you know what this regathering going to be like and all of that. But anywho, what's Elijah going to do? All right, because this is a sign to be looking for. Most High, and who shall turn again the heart of the Father to the Son, and the heart of the man. High is saying Israelites are going to be taught by Elijah to love one another again. Ain't that what I've been telling y'all, bro? Ain't that why I've been coming to FBA? Because they've been trying to divide us, and I've been telling y'all niggas don't fall for the psyops and all that. That's why I got so angry. I was like, man, FBA. That was one episode where I dropped the F-bomb one time too. I don't drop F-bombs normally. To y'all that heard me catch it, I did, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry if that bothered you. If I dropped the F-bomb today I did it because people playing with Yahuwah's name don't play with his name. But in that episode, you know what I'm saying, I dropped the F-bomb because I just hate seeing our people being deceived. There's two things that I love greatly in this world, or three things out top. I love the Most High, I love my wife, and I love my people, man. You feel me? And my family, of course. You know what I'm saying? My family, me and my wife family, and my family here online, right? My scattered brethren. But I love the Most High, I love my wife, and I love my people, right? So when it comes to the Most High, I get kind of like, turned up. If it comes to my people, I get kind of turned up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's just love. You know what I'm saying? So, sometimes I get passionate when I say things. But right here it says Elijah the Thespite is going to be preaching unity, turning the heart of the Father to the Son and the heart of the man to his neighbor, lest I come and smite the earth grievously. So this will be the sign before the great and terrible day of the coming of the Most High. But guess what? There's no mention of JC, though. So right here in the Tanakh, the Most High specifically says, I'm sending you Elijah the Thesbite. But nowhere in the Tanakh does he say, I'm sending you Jesus Christ. I'm sending you my son. He doesn't say that. Not once in the Tanakh. Only in the New Testament does it say that goofy shit. That's the problem. Right here, he identifies who he's sending. He tells you who he's sending. But he doesn't ever say, I'm sending you JC. And then like I said, y'all act just like these no context Christians. Y'all look at these verses and y'all read one verse and go to Isaiah 7:14, be like, oh, see, that's talking about Jesus. Talking about Jesus. Hey, talk about Jesus. We did used to sing that in the choir. Talking about Jesus. I'm not tired yet. Right? We used to, you know, like we used to. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. It just made me think back to when I used to be in the pagan church. But when you read these prophecies like Isaiah 7:14 and all these other, you know, verses, when you read them in context, you see that they don't point to JC. Let me show you what I mean. Isaiah 7:14, therefore Yahuwah shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive in the womb and shall bring forth a son, and you shall call his name Emmanuel. Now let's keep reading this though. Butter and honey shall he eat before he knows either to prefer evil or choose the good. For before the child shall know good or evil, he refuses evil to choose good, and the land shall be forsaken, which you are afraid of because of the two kings. Okay. But the Most High shall bring upon you and upon your people and upon the house of your father days which you have never come, from the day that Ephraim took away Judah, the king of the Syrians. And it shall come to pass in that day, it's going to be this day, that the Most High shall hiss for the flies, which insects shall rule a part of the river Egypt, and for the bee, which is in the lands of the Assyrians. When did this ever happen with JC? Huh? When did this ever happen with JC? You got to read the whole freaking verse, the whole context. Only Christians take one freaking verse and then run with it. Read the whole thing. Now let's go over here to verse 21. And it shall come to pass in that day, so this is going to be fulfilled in this time, that this prophecy is being spoken, not hundreds and hundreds of years later. Let's get the proof, because it just talked about butter and honey. And it shall come to pass in that day that a man shall rear a heifer and 2 sheep, and it shall come to pass from their drinking an abundance of milk, that everyone that is left on the land shall eat butter and honey. Were the Israelites eating butter and honey in the New Testament? Were the Israelites eating butter? I'm sorry. I guess I'm on one today. You know what I mean? Why do I do these shows, bro? Like, why do I do these shows at all? Like, seriously, like. So you have to read all these verses in context, fam. Okay. And it shall come to pass from their drinking an abundance of milk, that everyone that is left on the land shall eat butter and honey. And it shall come to pass in that day, for every place there shall be 1,000 vines and 1,000 shekels. They shall become a barren land and thorns. Men shall enter thither, an arrow and bow, and the land shall be barren ground and thorns, and every mountain shall be utterly plowed, and shall fear no come thither. So this was talking about during the time of Ahaz and the overtaking of, you know, he feared being overtaken by these nations, which are mentioned also in the book of Chronicles, First Chronicles, I believe, where it mentions Ahaz and these nations that he fears are coming up against him. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what this child was a sign of. All right. But yet the Christians have taken it out of context. They have taken out of context. And they've said that it's talking about JC. So when you really read these verses, bro, you know what I'm saying? Genuinely read these verses, bro. It destroys the lives of JC. They just expect you not to dig it and search things out. And I think, honestly, fam, it's like I was meant to get to this point, being the deep thinker that I am. It's like I was meant to get to this point at some point. It was just meant for me, being how deep of a person I am, fam. It was meant for me to get to this point. If it's a lie, I'm going to figure it out. All right? I'm going to figure it out. And honestly, you know what I'm saying? Now that I done come out of the lie, bro, I got to do my dance, bro. I gotta do my dance, bro. I done came out the light. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm on one tonight. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here. This was not supposed to be an extended show like this, but now that I'm here, it's just like I'm chilling with y'all. So all praises to the Most High. I guess we just gonna hang out for a little bit before I go. You know what I mean? Now I'm just chilling. You know, like I said, we already kind of finished the episode, so now I'm just kind of hanging out with the chat, and we're you know, we chilling. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man. I think people genuinely thought I was like joking when I really said that I'm really the Most High only, but I guess people thought I was playing.
Nigga, I don't play that much, nigga. You thought I was playing? The nigga thought I was playing? Nigga, I don't play that much, nigga. You thought I was playing?
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having a good time with y'all tonight. Woo. All praises to the Most High, man. All praises to the Most High. But yeah, man. You know, sometimes I gotta just come on here and just laugh with y'all, bro, because you know we have a good time. Like I said, you know, I'm just here with y'all, just chilling, hanging out. But you know, sometimes I find memes, bro, that just illustrate my point perfectly, and I just gotta play them randomly sometimes. No alert, gotta catch up. So look, fam, let me explain that, because I have been heavily shadow banned on this platform. So there are a few things that can be done to overcome this. One, always and forever, please always hit the like every time, bro. That's number one. Number two, share the video, share the live with somebody. Comment, even after, if you've been here on the live and you were in the chat, you were talking with everybody, that's good. But also comment on the video even after you've already watched it. Every little bit of engagement that you do on this channel helps propel it, helps get it back up in those algorithms. Because again, I took a 3-month break from this. So before I left YouTube, I was regularly making videos, going live almost every other day. And so I was feeding the algorithm constantly. Ever since I came back, I have experienced a serious stifle. Like when I first came back, people didn't even know that I had did a video about the Proverbs 31 woman, which was the first video that I did when I came back. And people didn't even see that. So, you know, and then it's like, this is even before I even said I don't believe in JC anymore, the New Testament, which obviously, you know what I'm saying, I had its ramifications. But yeah, I don't know. Ever since I came back on here from the very beginning, bro, it's just I've been shadow banned. So that's why I always tell y'all, bro, hit the like button, share the video, You know what I'm saying? Comment, come back and comment, you know what I mean? Do whatever, you know, share the playlist, whatever you do, because every little bit of engagement that is on this video does help. You know what I'm saying? But then the issue is that I have a lot of people who silently watch. There's not a lot of people who actually, where, you know, there are some people who watch me who silently watch that don't actually engage in the chat. And so, you know, that could be a factor in it as well. But yeah, so the best we can do is just share the video, like the video, and, you know, comment even after the live stream, whatever you could do. But like I said, I don't really pay much attention to it anymore, is in regards to like who sees the video. I'm just like, well, if people see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. You know what I'm saying? I keep telling people, hey, watch the videos, watch the content, but I just don't have it in me to, you know, wait for people to catch up and do all of that. I'm just moving at a different pace now. So if you got to catch up, if you got to play the catch-up game, you got to play the catch-up game. Was there a certain verse or a creator that caused you to take that break and study? I think you meant verse or chapter. Nah, there wasn't, bro. Genuinely, I just felt the Most High pulling me away from social media. Of course, like I said, there was a lot of things I was questioning about the New Testament, for sure. But I knew I needed to seek the Most High in a greater capacity about this because it was bothering me so much. I just couldn't wrap my mind around so many things about the New Testament that just weren't adding up. And I came to a place in my mind where I said, if the Most High proves us and the Most High tests us to make sure that we truly love him as he tested us in the wilderness, as we will be tried and tested in this regathering, what if this JC New Testament thing is like that final test before the regathering? Because that was something I had been like stewing on for a while. And I'm just like, what if that's really what this is? So that's what led me to go back to Torah and really restudy the law, restudy scripture, look at everything all over again. And then when I saw it, I was just like, wow, there it is. This is totally false. This whole book is meant to throw us off. It has nothing to do with the Most High. I mean, think about it. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of genealogy. Even before Abraham, bro. With Shem, all of Shem's descendants, down to Terach, who was Abraham's dad. Abraham down to Isaac, Isaac to Jacob, all of Jacob's descendants, who they begat, this person begat, all throughout the Tanakh. This bloodline is so important. The Most High has you laser focused on all these people who are descendants of this chosen bloodline. Then all of a sudden we get to the New Testament, poof, it doesn't matter anymore. Bull-ish. Bull-ish. Bull-ish, bro. Bull-ish. Bull-ish. People really, really thought I was playing when I said I do not trust the New Testament.
The nigga thought I was playing? Nigga, I don't play that much, nigga. You thought I was playing?
That's never gonna get old, bro. Bro, I believe the New Testament is a test for studiousness and obedience. Yeah. And to be honest, like I said, I'm noticing with me specifically, I'm becoming so much more better in Torah and astute in Torah and so much more like, you know what I'm saying, like perfected with it. I realized that destroying JC has perfected my Torah game. Like it's perfected it. It's perfected my Tanakh game. How well I know the prophets, how well I know the law of the Most High. And it also, it has helped me understand the Most High even more. This can't be a deception to reject JC. It can't be a deception if I'm growing better in the law of the Most High alone. Think about the New Testament. They have made the Torah keepers, those who are zealous for the law, as the villain in the New Testament. Because remember, you got to be circumcised, right? That's what the law says. But the New Testament says you don't need to be circumcised. Guess what the Pharisees were saying? You must be circumcised. The law also says that if a person commits adultery, they are to be stoned, and they're caught in the act, they are to be stoned to death. A woman was caught in adultery, and JC said not to do anything to her. Because it's like, well, we all have sinned, so there's no reason to kill this lady. Bro, that's against the law. Who is this nigga, man? Who sent this nigga? He ain't no Israelite, bro. He don't keep the law of Moses, bro. I don't care if he mentions the law of Moses. He don't live by it, nigga. He a whole fraud. And you could just see that they just took little bits and pieces of the Israelite understanding and just try to apply it to him, but they did a very bad job, because even when you look at the New Testament, they even misspelled one of the prophets' names in the freaking New Testament. Did y'all know that? That they literally misspelled one of the prophets' names that they try to quote, they try to connect to Jesus. Let me show y'all that. That's actually kind of funny. That's why I'm like, bro, this book is not from the Most High, bro. If you're saying it's from the Most High, then you're saying the Most High is imperfect. Come on, bro. Let me see if I can find that verse here. They literally misspelled. They literally misspelled one of the prophets' names. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about in the Slave Master New Testament here. Matthew 2:17 in the Slave Master New Testament. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Matthew 2:17. All right. Matthew 2. And I'm going to get off of here in a bit, y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming through. 2. I'm on Blue, Bible Hub right now. I was on Blue Letter, but just give me a second. All right, Matthew 2:17 in the Slave Master New Testament. Now let's look at this real quick, y'all. Share my screen. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's look at this, shall we? Matthew 2:17 in the Slave Master New Testament. You know what? Let me go to the Blue Letter. Hold on. Matthew 2:17. All right. Okay. Matthew 2:17. We'll start off at 16 for context. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coast thereof from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled by Jeremy the prophet. Family, who the hell is Jeremy? Who is Jeremy? Who is Jeremy the prophet? Who the hell is that? Somebody tell me who this nigga Jeremy is. I have never heard of him before anywhere in the Tanakh. You know what this is right here? The Nephilim seed made a mistake. And it just happened to be something that they missed in this translation. Now, you don't see these type of mistakes in the Tanakh, but you do in the New Testament, though. They misspelled Jeremiah's name that they were trying to falsely connect to Jeremiah. There's no such thing as no prophet Jeremy. Do y'all see this book is not trustworthy, bro? It's all over the freaking place. What the hell would I be reading this for or trusting in it or believing it's from the Most High with all these imperfections in it? Do y'all believe the Most High is perfect or not? Huh? If you believe the Most High is perfect, then why would you believe that this is from him with all these freaking contradictions? The Most High don't know the name of his freaking prophets? Nigga, stop it. This is not from him, bro. This is written by our freaking enemies because they don't know our people. Shame on y'all niggas who sit there and defend this goofy ass book talking about, oh man, it's the word of the Most High, man. It's the word of the Most High. No, it's not, bro, because the Most High knows the name of his prophets. He calls them by name. He speaks about them by name. And he also identifies himself. Thus says Yahuwah, I am Yahuwah. But even if you want to factor in the fact and say it's a translation error, nowhere in the Tanakh does it mention anything about Herod killing all these babies in Bethlehem. None of that was prophesied in the Tanakh, that there would be a king who would rule over Judea and would kill all of the Israelite children. There's no prophecy in the Tanakh about that. So they just literally made up a prophecy because they know Christians are stupid. And they'll literally just read this and they'll say, then it was fulfilled, which is spoken by Jeremy the prophet. And they'll be like, well, it was fulfilled. So, you know, it is what it is. They're not going to even go back and check to see what this is talking about because there is no footnote for this. They just made this shit up. And then wrote, which was fulfilled by this false prophet who doesn't even exist because they know Christians aren't going to question this. Yeah, man. The New Testament is flawed in so many ways. And David is the king. And like I said, you can tell the conspiracy against David because look how they've replaced David. The Most High said it himself, it's going to be David. He said he's going to raise up David. He said he will swear he will not lie to David. And that David will be exalted above all the kings of the earth. And the Most High called David his beloved son, his firstborn. He said, I'm going to call you my firstborn. So David is the anointed one. And it makes sense when you look at these Psalms. There's scriptures in the Tanakh that are very poetic, like Sirach and Proverbs. But when you read Psalms, you understand why David is the anointed one, why he is special, why the Most High chose him for such a greater work, and why he will be the one to make the two kingdoms become one. Because when he was king, that's how it was. He wasn't just the king of the southern kingdom. He was the king of Israel. Don't you let this false Messiah, JC, convince you to believe that the renewed covenant's already taken place. Nigga, we still divided, nigga. The two sticks ain't became one. We more divided than we ever been. It will make sense what Genesis 49:10 is talking about. It's talking about David. And honestly, this made me get into the Psalms more. I've always loved the Psalms, but it's like making me read them more because there's so much that's revealed within them. I'm going to show you one more thing before I go. Speaking of David. Now, in the last episode I showed y'all how there's a conspiracy against David, right? A conspiracy against David, right? Well, I want to show you guys something else here. So give me 1 second. All right. Now, the kings of the earth. Let's go to Psalms 2:2 real quick. Now, I've already explained Psalms 2:2. It's not referring to Christ. It's referring to David. You're going to have to go back and watch that video if you want to see it. And it was the video I did, which was entitled Are you ignoring the laws of Yahuwah, abandoning the laws of Yahuwah, and ignoring his word, or something like that? I don't remember exactly what it was. But let's read this. Psalms 2:2. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahuwah and against his anointed, or his anointed one. All right. Or in this Septuagint says Christ, but it translates to anointed one. Okay. Let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords away from us. Now, give me a 1 if we can agree that the kings of the earth are evil. Give me a 1 if you agree with that. Give me a 2 if you disagree with that. Based on this text right here, the kings of the earth are evil. 1 if you agree, 2 if you disagree with that. That's right. The Psalms is one of my favorite books in the Torah. The Psalms is not part of Torah. It's part of the Tanakh. The Torah is only the first 5 books. The Psalms would be part of the Kathubin, HaKathubin, which would be the writings. You have the Torah, you have the prophets, and you have the writings. That's what makes up the Tanakh. Okay, ones. Okay, we all agree that the kings of the earth are evil. Okay, all praises to the Most High Yahuwah. Okay, we all agree the kings of the earth are evil. Okay, so if we all agree that the kings of the earth are evil, then let's look at Revelations in the Slave Master New Testament, chapter 1, verse 5. If the kings of the earth are evil, and we all agree about that, let's look at Revelations 1, chapter 1, verse 5. And from Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead and the prince of the kings of the earth. Wait a minute. They're telling you right here that the conspiracy is against David, is against the Most High, and is against us. Psalms 83. I told you that the conspiracy is so great against David that they have replaced him as the Messiah with this false Roman idol called JC, Jesus, Yahweh, Yahusha, whatever you want to call him. But right here, it says that he is the prince of the kings of the earth, and these same kings of the earth are taking conspiracy against the Most High and against David, bro. Y'all get the message now? It literally tells you right here. It literally tells you he is the prince of the kings of the earth, and the kings of the earth have taken conspiracy against the Most High and against his anointed one. Matter of fact, let's go back to that Psalms 89. Let's go back to that Psalms 89 and prove it's freaking David. I'm tired of people asking me, but what about this? But what about that? Nigga, the word is true, bro. Let's just cook them real quick, man. Let's just cook them. Can you actually cook them real quick, man? I'm tired of people asking me the same damn questions, even though I'm doing all these freaking videos proving JC is false. All right, let's read this. I have found David, my servant. I have anointed him by my holy mercy. For my hand shall support him, and my arm shall strengthen him. The enemy shall have no advantage against him, and the son of transgression shall not hurt him again. Conspiracy against him. Psalms 2:2. Conspiracy against Yahuwah and against his anointed one. Why is it a conspiracy against Yahuwah? Because they over here putting words in Yahuwah's mouth, connecting a book to Yahuwah that has nothing to do with him, a book so much that got our people rejecting the word of Yahuwah. All right. So a conspiracy against Yahuwah because they got this other God who's never identified by name that this character is calling his dad that you're supposed to believe is Yahuwah. Yeah, they're trying to replace Yahuwah with this JC character. So conspiracy against Yahuwah and conspiracy against his anointed one, David, because they're also trying to replace David with this false character. They're also trying to replace the Most High with. And the conspiracy is against us to cut us off from being a people. Why? Because we're worshiping an idol. We're worshiping an idol. It is a triangular conspiracy against Yahuwah, against the anointed one, and against the people of the nation. Psalms 83, Psalms 2:2, and Psalms 89 all connect to the end times. But let's keep reading. Now let's prove he is the Messiah. The enemy shall have no advantage against him, and the son of transgression shall not hurt him again. And I will hew down his foes before him, and put to flight those that hate him. Do you hate David? I mean, a lot of our people are rejecting he's the Messiah. A lot of our people want to choose this character over him. A lot of people are rejecting what Yahuwah himself said and the prophet said. Yeah, I think our people have been conditioned to hate him and join with our enemies in a conspiracy against the Most High's anointed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do you think that that's what the scriptures describe as rebels? The ones that's going to be cut off? I just want to put that in your mind. It's not too late to understand and seek Yahuwah a little bit more about what you think is the truth. Continuing on, but my truth and mercy shall be with him, and in my name, Bashami, in my name shall his horn be exalted. Bashami, in my name shall his horn be exalted. Let's continue. And I will set his hand in the sea and his right hand in the rivers. He shall call upon me, saying, you are my Father, my God, and the helper of my salvation. Continue on. And I will make him what? My firstborn, higher than the kings of the earth. The same kings of the earth who JC is the prince of, the same kings of the earth who plot against Yahuwah and his anointed one and against his people. Psalms 83, Psalms 2:2, Psalms 89. Do y'all get it now? It is not JC. Clearly. Do you believe Yahuwah or do you believe the New Testament? Because it contradicts what this says. And if you reject this, bro, I rebuke you in the name of Yahuwah. Because I'm about to show you that the Most High is about to swear in this. So you reject the Most High swearing, you are a liar, and the truth is not in you. Let's continue. And I will keep my mercy for him forever. I will keep my mercy for him forever. And as I said, stop bringing up the fact that he sinned. Okay, yeah, he did. We all have. But guess what? The Most High forgives him. And the Most High said, I will keep my mercy for him forever. So you cannot judge him about his past. Only the Most High can blot out transgressions. Nobody is sinless. It says so in Torah itself. Nobody is 100% perfect. But that's why the Most High gave us the gift of repentance. That's exactly why we did do atonement. And that's why even in captivity, even though we don't have an altar, we don't have a sacrifice, we don't have none of that, we can still repent, and he will hear from us if we do it with a humble heart. I will keep my mercy for him forever, and my covenant, that renewed covenant, that Jeremiah 31:31, shall be firm with him. And I will establish his seed forever and ever, and his throne as the days of heaven. If his children should forsake my law and walk not in my judgments, and they should profane my ordinances and not keep my commandments, I will visit their transgressions with the rod and their sins with scourges. But my mercy I will not utterly remove from him, nor wrong my truth. Neither will I by any means profane my covenant. I will not make void the things that proceed out of my lips. Once I have sworn by holiness that I will not lie to David. I sworn by my holiness, I will not lie to David. I have sworn by my holiness that I will not lie to David. If you reject anything that the Most High has said in this chapter, you are a liar and you are an idolater. Because the Most High says right here, he swears he will not lie to David. So everything he said about David and to David shall be. You calling the Most High a liar? You New Testament niggas, are y'all calling the Most High a liar? Because the New Testament definitely is, and that's the book y'all believe in. Every single Israelite that's watching this video, whether silently or whether in the chat, you will be judged because I just showed you in the word of the Most High, he swore everything that he said is going to happen is going to happen. And if you reject it for this idol, you will be judged. I'm not telling you you need to believe this off top. Well, I mean, don't ignore the Most High swearing. But what I'm telling you to do right now is go to the Most High and ask him to open your eyes about this New Testament. Ask him to pour out his Ruach and help you become better and studied in the Torah so you can see it for yourself. But the Most High said it's David and he swore. That should be enough right there to make you say, you know what, this New Testament, man, I don't know, bro. I don't like how it's contradicting what the Most High said. Your defense should be for the Most High, not no man. I don't give a damn about man. It's about the Most High, bro. That's who I'm here fighting for. That's who I'm, standing on the front line for. That's who I'm speaking, to our people is the Most High. I'm the one that's fighting and standing for the Most High's word and his Torah and his laws and the prophets. Y'all niggas just believe in some foreign book, from false character that can't no prophet verify. Can't nobody verify no New Testament. Can't nobody verify no Mark, no Luke, no John, no Mary Magdalene. None of these people. Not even no freaking Virgin Mary. Nobody can even identify her. And I just showed you Isaiah 7:14 don't got nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, it shouldn't even be the word virgin. It should be young maiden, which means young girl who's of marriageable age, but doesn't necessarily mean she's a virgin. King David was anointed by oil. He fits the criteria. He was a great king. He was king when the nation was together as one people. There was no division between kingdoms. He was a great king. He led us in victory and triumph. He loved the Most High with his whole heart. You never had to question his character. You knew he was a man after the Most High's heart. He loved Yahuwah passionately. Just read them Psalms, man. And read them in the Septuagint. Whoo, man, they hit different. Everything you need to know about your coming king, our coming king, is all throughout the Psalms. His love for the Most High. And that would be a righteous king. One who loves the highest. Made some mistakes, but gets to a place of repentance. Even shows us how to repent. And I feel like that's a better example of a person who falls down, but gets up and gets to a point of righteousness and acceptance of the Most High. Why is that a perfect, better demonstration than somebody who's sinless? Because it's an example of how is the love and nature of the Most High, that a person could be disgraced, right? But also be redeemed. But that's our story. That's the story of Yasharal. So, I mean, if we fell, we can get back up. So it makes sense that our coming king would have also had that same story, which would be symbolic of our restoration. To fall and get back up because of the mercy of the Most High, versus somebody who's sinless. It's like you never made a mistake. So how can you demonstrate the mercy of the Most High when we do fall? Because we are human. Because we make mistakes. Bro, I never thought about it like that. A sinless individual would not be able to demonstrate the mercy of the Most High as well as somebody who actually did have sin. Because if they never did anything wrong, they never saw the wrath of the Most High. They never saw his mercy in that wrath after he carried out his wrath. But a person who sinned, you saw the Most High's wrath, but then you saw the Most High's mercy. And we know that the whole story about Yasharal is a story of redemption, an unfaithful wife. Oh, here, let me show y'all something. I've got a lot of like teachings coming up, y'all. I know I say I'm doing so much right now. I really, really am. I'm doing stuff. I'm doing the bloodline of Cain. I'm doing this JC's Lucifer. I'm doing some Patreon content. I'm doing another episode of, you know what I'm saying, Never Forget They Lied. It's just a lot of stuff I'm doing. So I have so many projects. But I want to show you guys this other one I'm working on about how the wife of Yahuwah, that JC cannot be, you know what I'm saying, the son of the Most High. He cannot be, because why would he be marrying Yahuwah's wife? That would be uncovering your father's nakedness. That would be a sin. So even that concept destroys the New Testament. But let me see if I can pull it up here. Okay. I can't pull it up. Hold on a minute, y'all. Yeah, I mean, everything about King David and like how he wrote his psalm, it was genuine, man. And it's like you feel his words. I feel every bit of his words when he spoke about the Most High. It was real. It was genuine. It was real, you know? And that's how I feel. I've always loved to find, you know, writings, you know, of Dawood that kind of can, that when I think of words I could use to describe how I feel about the Most High, I feel like David comes the closest. You know what I'm saying? It's like poetry, bro. All right, so look, let me show y'all this thing real quick here. So this is, I got a lot of things I'm working on. Like I said, I'm still working on the Wisdom of Solomon thing about the children of Lucifer and the Wisdom of Solomon. That one should be up either tomorrow or Wednesday. I just told you I need a couple of days. I'm pretty much done with it. So either tomorrow or Wednesday this week for sure, though. For sure. I promise y'all. All right. So let me show y'all this real quick. This one is pretty cool. I did the visuals on this. Well, I do all my visuals. Y'all already know. All right, let me show y'all this real quick. All right, check this out, bro. Y'all gonna, all y'all sisters, y'all gonna like this one, bro. Whoo! Israel, Yasharal is the bride of Yahuwah. And that's the video, or that's the one I'm gonna do, proving that JC cannot be no freaking groom or no husband of JC, or JC cannot be the husband of Yasharal or be the groom of Yasharal, because that would make no sense. I mean, the Most High is already married to her. So that would be uncovering your father's nakedness. That would be a sin according to Torah. So even that concept makes no sense. So that one, when that one's going to drop, I don't know. I'll have it on here eventually. You know what I'm saying? It's just something I'm working on. I got a lot of different little things I'm doing around here. You know what I'm saying? So all praises to the Most. Yeah, Reuben, just like what Reuben did. Exactly. See, the sis knows scripts, just like Reuben. Yep, what Reuben did. And it was a great sin. One of those, you know, what they call great sins. All right, y'all. Well, that's going to be it for me. There will be a part 2. I'm not sure when. Just know there will be a part 2. I feel like we covered a lot of ground, but there's still so much more to cover. So, you know, we'll try to get it done. Please hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate y'all. I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of tired right now. I think I'm gonna lay it down. Appreciate y'all. This has been a long, good, in-depth study. There's more to it. Like I said, I don't even think I scratched the surface tackling the things that I wanted to tackle in depth. But you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. Appreciate y'all. Please hit the like button. All praises to the Most High. Thank y'all again. I will see y'all in the next one. Until then, all praises go to the highest Yahuwah and Yahuwah only. The highest, the creator, the Eloah, our Father, the eternal Eloah of Yasharal. Shalom.
Genesis 6:2-4 in Swahili. Wana wa Mungu waliowaona binti za wanadamu kuwa ni wazuri, wakajitwalia wake wowote waliochagua. Bwana akasema, roho yangu haitashindana na mwanadamu milele, kwa kuwa yeye naye ni nyama, basi siku zake zitakuwa 120. Na wanaofi.
Hey, youngster.
Yeah. I'm at war with the Nephilim seed. Yeah. Pale Nephilim seed, divine judgment from Yahuwah, he ain't letting them breathe. Yeah. Barely letting them breathe. We at war with the Nephilim seed. Yeah. Pale Nephilim seed, divine judgment from Yahuwah, he ain't letting them breathe. Yeah. Barely letting them breathe. Yahuwah bring destruction on the Nephilim seed. Yeah, they all left to their greed. It's destruction on the heathen for they theft and they deeds. Yeah, they oppress and deceive. Colonizer cave dweller is the Nephilim seed. Hey, it's straight down to their seed, and they only bring destruction to the poor and in need. Yeah, they leave our mothers to grieve.
Most High protect us, Bantus from Nephilim seed. He Mungu, usituache watoto wako. Inuka he watu wangu, malipo yanakaribia. All praises to the Most High. He is forever extreme.
Yeah. I'm at war with the Nephilim seed. Yeah. Pale Nephilim seed, divine judgment from Yahuwah, he ain't letting them breathe. Yeah. Barely letting them breathe. We at war with the Nephilim seed. Yeah, pale Nephilim seed, divine judgment from Yahuwah, he ain't letting them breathe. Yeah, barely letting them breathe. I'm at war with the Nephilim seed. Yeah, pale Nephilim seed, divine judgment from Yahuwah, he ain't letting them breathe. Yeah, barely letting them breathe. We at war with the Nephilim seed. Yeah, pale Nephilim seed, divine judgment from Yahuwah, he ain't letting them breathe. Yeah, barely letting them breathe.
Hey, youngster.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget you can support this channel by Cash App, $Malkaya Music. Also be sure to check out the Patreon for uncensored documentaries, films, deep dives, and much more content that you won't find here on YouTube. And let me not forget to say, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that like button and tap in with us. All praises to the Most High, Yahuwah, the highest. Shalom.